Not feeding though, huh? Is it feeding now?
Now it's feeding.
There you go. All right, we're feeding. This is Alex, co-host, Liberty Underground. Danielle Alexandria. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well.
Good. Also producing, doing his job over there, engineering as best as he can while he fixes his microphone. Greg Bowen.
I had a
good
problem
morning,
on the
sir.
call?
Maybe.
Okay.
That might be. I don't know who was pushing buttons, but buttons and knobs have been pushed and turned. And
Buttons and knobs and levers and buttons and pushes.
You know, I did a conference call over the week, and I could not, I found out halfway through, in the beginning of the call that I was talking and no one could hear me. But instead of actually touching anything, because I didn't want to mess it up worse, I actually hung up from doing it through the studio and actually called in on the phone.
Oh.
So I did not push any buttons because I was afraid to mess it up.
Man. How you doing, Greg?
Doing spectacular now that the feed's working.
Now that the feed's working, you're doing good, huh?
I was worried here for a minute. I'm like, what's going on?
Well, I hope everybody's having a good week. I think we get right to it. Where are we starting, Danielle?
I don't know.
All right.
I hate the let's get right to it. It just bothers me. But that's fine. I don't know. I wasn't set up yet. I thought you were going to do some witty banter beforehand while I was getting set up.
Let's have some witty banter.
I pulled up the first story now. I wasn't ready.
I understand. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the college drink fests known as Barack Obama visits?
Well, this is actually, I think this was a serious thing. Actually, President Obama actually went to try to get an agreement, like a nuclear material agreement between China and Russia and the U.S. and everything, and he failed to get the agreement. And that
didn't get the job done.
No,
huh?
did not get the job done. But that story was overshadowed by the fact that while he was trying to get this done and while he was over in the Netherlands, meeting with them, the Secret Services agents were out all night getting drunk. So they were passed out, drunk in the hallways of the hotel.
Which, here's the thing. I mean, look, I think I have actually passed out in the hallway of a hotel room before. So I can't say that I haven't done this.
Were you responsible for the life of the president at the time?
I was not responsible for the life of the president.
There's the difference. If you're not driving, if you're not tending to children, if you're not responsible for the security of the president, have a couple drinks.
I would say...
if you had to guard President Obama, wouldn't you drink heavily too, though?
Fair enough.
Touche. No, I definitely, and this kind of secret, it was only one agent, although I say it like it was only one agent.
No. No, only one agent got locked out of his room and passed out.
Okay, you didn't let me finish.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, finish, please.
It was only one agent that was actually passed out in the hotel room hallway. Although several were drinking.
And the rest were in their hotel rooms with Colombian prostitutes.
Probably.
No, they were in The Hague.
That was in 2012.
they were in The Hague, so they had to get The Hague prostitutes.
That's in the Netherlands.
The Hague hookers. The Netherlands. The Nether hookers.
So,
I bet you they got good hookers in the Netherlands, by the way.
Now, 3 Secret Service agents were actually spent the night out drinking. Now, this was the night before Obama's arrival. So they were out drinking. 3 Secret Service agents were actually the ones involved in boozing it up. And but one got so intoxicated that he couldn't get the hotel room key to work and just passed out in the hallway in front of his door.
That's pretty drunk when you can't swipe a card.
You just can't put the card in.
I mean, I've been drunk enough to not be able to use a standard key, getting it in that hole, but swiping a card, that's a completely different story.
That's a completely different drunk.
Put it in for 3 seconds, lift it out, the door opens. Couldn't do that, passed out in front of the door.
Here's the thing, by the way. The problem here is you'd think these guys would actually have learned their lesson. And even the Secret Service is at the point now where they're just like, fuck it.
How do you learn lessons when you're not held accountable?
Well, and this
I guess that is a good point, by the way.
This is the thing. In 2012, the Obama administration Secret Service was the ones caught in that big prostitution scandal in Colombia. Mm-hmm. So they and that was at the same time as the GSA was found to be, basically funneling cocaine. So, within the same week in 2012, we found out that, the Secret Service is with a bunch of Colombian hookers. The GSA is smuggling coke. And they've learned nothing from that. Well, I mean, I guess because they're not coked up anymore. They went from hookers and blow to we'll just booze it up in the Netherlands and pass out the hallways.
Well, they haven't learned anything from it because typically you either learn to not do it or learn not to get caught. And they're still doing it and they're still getting caught. So.
I just don't understand how these guys are going to continue to do this stuff. Like, can you just not... Just don't go out drinking the night before. Look, and if you are going to go out, have one of the guys act like a Secret Service agent for the rest of y'all and make sure that y'all get to your rooms at the end of the night. Or drink in your rooms, for Pete's sake. Order in a hooker. I don't know. Just...
Did you say drink in a hooker?
No. Drink
off of a hooker.
You can do that too if you want to. Drink in your rooms or, order a hooker,
Oh, order a hooker.
Order a hooker. It's like pizza.
It's not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
I just don't understand. Look, these guys should not. They just should not
work for the government.
These people should be fired. They should be fired.
I mean,
then again, though, I got to tell you, if I was their boss, I'd give them a pass. I'd be like, well, I know you're working for Obama. You got to have to let loose. I can understand.
He was coming the next day.
If it's going to drive Trey Radel to coke, it's definitely going to drive the Secret Service men to drink it.
Yeah, well, it drove them to coke too, though.
Well, true.
They got off the coke and went to drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have a little more of the alcoholism down. Like, they understand it a little better than Trey Radel. Like, they actually drink.
It's not as easy to get the coke and the prostitutes outside of Colombia.
That's a good point, by the way. I mean, what were these people doing before, by the way? Like, they were doing this stuff before and they were just getting away with it. Nobody was seeing anything. The second they find the first incident, like with the hookers and stuff, and if they'd have treated them prostitutes correctly in Colombia, they wouldn't have had that problem.
That's true.
That is true.
That goes to show if you're going to get a service, you should pay for it.
Yeah. They're just making hormones.
They're making enemies. There's blowback to that. You treat foreign prostitutes bad, there's blowback to that.
And not in the form of cocaine.
Blowback is the perfect term for that.
Yeah, pardon the multiple layered pun on that one. Huh? That thing's a pun on different levels, right? It still exists, though. Blowback is real.
It's like an onion pun.
It's like an onion pun. Oh, so that's what's going on with the embarrassment known as the Obama administration, which is always it really is amazing how much of an embarrassment this president and his administration is.
His whole point when he was running originally was to stop being embarrassing.
Yeah, he makes Bush look like a professional. How do you do that? He really does. He makes Bush look like a professional.
Yeah. See, the difference is when Bush was on camera talking, he sounded and appeared like a dumbass. When Obama is signing things and writing things and creating policy, that's when he looks like a dumbass.
Well, because Obama has the teleprompter.
Bush had a teleprompter too.
Not as much as Obama, I don't think, though.
I don't think. I think we've been a long time before we had a president that didn't use a teleprompter. Back before teleprompters, when it was just 3x5 cards, and that's what they had. If
I was president, I wouldn't use a teleprompter.
Well, you wouldn't need to, but you probably wouldn't get reelected either.
That's true. Yeah. I would just go up there and and do America, America, and then I'd walk off stage. And people were like, "Man, that guy, one word can say it all for him."
I mean, this whole thing with the Secret Service isn't even a new occurrence. I mean, we hear about isolated incidents here and there, but they study this and they say they basically surveyed 2,500 employees with the Secret Service, and at least 10% of them either admitted they were aware of conduct like this. And so this has been going on for years. I mean, you know, there's a lot of instances of Secret Service agents being caught for DUI, and you know, basically stopped while they're in other countries. They're, you know, stopped by police because of, you know, given breathalyzers, and then it's, you know, pushed under the rug. I mean, these things happen all the time. You know, they only report it when you pass out in the hallway. Like, it has to go to a new level before we hear about it.
Well, people outside of the Secret Service and the president's office have to see it before anything's done about it.
Yeah, like when the maid comes to your room and you're blocking the door because you're in the hallway, that's when someone starts saying something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. It's just, I wish these guys would just quit being an embarrassment, man. You know what? Just don't drink while you're about to be on duty the day before. Just don't drink. Just don't drink. You've obviously proven that you can't handle your liquor. Like you've shown in the last one with the hookers. You thought it was going to be different in The Hague?
Handle your shit, fellas. You're embarrassing us.
Yeah.
This is America.
Get organized, bitch.
And actually,
People need to get organized. That's what it is. They need to get organized. They need to go Wu-Tang.
What should be the bigger story coming out of the Netherlands is that, you know, we went, our president went on Tuesday to try to get this agreement signed to beef up inspections and things like that in nuclear facilities with China and Russia. And basically, after a 2-day summit, both China and Russia said no. Now, you know, other countries did, you know, kind of... Some countries did agree to it because there was 39 countries there. 35 of them did pledge to turn over to these international guidelines on nuclear security. But the biggest ones, the ones that we would want the most to be able to be in agreement right now, especially in the climate that's going on right now, is China and Russia, and both of them said no.
Well, you know what? When you have sanctions going on with one and threats with the other, sometimes people don't want to sign shit. You know, at that point, it's they just don't want to sign stuff. And again, this is the part that really irks me, is that Obama's so bad that he's making like Bush look good. like the Republicans are gaining traction because Obama's so bad.
And it's not because Republicans have
And
gotten
it's not because
better.
the Republicans have gotten any better. Like, and foreign policy wise, Obama is horrible because outwardly he does sound weak as hell. The only thing is, inwardly he still Jones bombs the crap out of people. And, you know, if they don't like you knowing the death numbers, they just make that classified so you don't know anymore. Like, if you got a problem with them killing civilians, well, we just won't tell you anymore. We'll just make that classified.
We'll keep killing them. We're just not.
You know, if you close your eyes, you're invisible. You know? But this guy's an
The
embarrassment.
best way to play hide and seek.
Yeah. I
Cover
win
your
all the
eyes.
time.
Put your head in the sand and nobody will see it.
There's no nuclear weapons anywhere. This guy's just
Are you an Iraq weapons inspector?
Maybe.
I don't see any weapons anywhere.
Maybe.
Time to go home. We're going to the bar. The Secret Service guys are here? Oh, shit.
definitely
Man,
going
they
to the
brought
bar.
the hookers, man. It's time to party.
Maybe they should take a book out of, take a page out of the Tallahassee book and just change the name. We just won't call them nuclear weapons anymore.
Yeah. Good idea. Big shiny things.
There you go.
Big boom.
Yeah, big boom. We'll call them alabaster.
We'll just really big fireworks.
Yeah, fireworks.
Fireworks.
Fireworks. I'll bet you Russia and China would have signed that one quicker if they'd have thought it was fireworks.
If they would have called it
Good job.
mega fireworks.
Yeah, well, China would have. Actually, China would have been like, how come you didn't buy from us? And they still wouldn't have signed. But you at least got Russia. Well, Russia might have been able to talk China into it, though. Maybe. Either way, you guys are... Either way, Obama is just an embarrassment. And it was amazing considering that how much they had to step up their game in order to beat the last president in their embarrassment. In every way, on every level, you have done this. And your wife's an embarrassment, too. I got to tell you, I'm so sick and tired of this woman, it ain't even funny. You know what? They don't get to go on trips anymore for millions of dollars to China. All right? So you guys can play on the wall. Wait till you're retired for that. Wait till you're out of office for that. I'm sick of paying for that crap.
Yeah, she's on vacation like all the time.
Which, if we didn't have to pay for it, wouldn't even be such a bad
Oh
thing.
yeah, I wouldn't care.
But they puts hundreds of Secret Service people in there, and her little, I just at
It's
least
just another place for the Secret Service guys to go drinking.
yeah. Maybe the Secret Service guys are the ones that are
They're the vacation planners.
maybe they're the ones that are doing it. They're like, yeah, you know what, man, let's go to China next.
Miss Obama, I hear China is great this time of year.
Yeah, you should go. Bring the kids.
I hear it's beautiful in Sierra Leone.
There's this hotel. It's like $8,000 a night. You're gonna love it, all inclusive.
Yeah, all inclusive. Another embarrassment. These two people really have just done a phenomenal job of embarrassing this country, and for the first time in my life, I'm ashamed. Actually, that's not true.
No.
I've been ashamed of these people for a long time. And you ain't the first one, and you ain't the only one. So you uppity.
And you probably won't be the last.
No.
Just be confident in the fact that you have not changed our opinion of government at all.
Yeah, you've reinforced every bit of it, Barack.
I do have to say, the one thing that they have done is gotten more people to be angry and more people to be willing to do something.
I guess in that aspect, we should thank them a little bit, but
I mean, not that I think anything they've done is good, but we have that.
But who will get hammered on our dime?
Everybody. Everybody in government is getting hammered on our dime.
Hold on. Meanwhile, we're making laws to say not only should this country get hammered, but we're going to throw $1 billion to Ukraine. You can go ahead and you can do that too.
Everybody in the world is getting hammered on our dime.
Can you buy liquor with EBT?
No, I don't think so.
Well, then there's the problem. Everybody's getting drunk on the government dime except the people who are getting the dime from the government.
It's a good point, by
That
the way.
is true.
May have to expand EBT.
If the Secret Service can drink on government money, then EBT people should be able to too. Damn it.
I think everyone should just get beer sent to them.
Yeah.
Government beer. Forget government cheese. We need government beer.
But who will send you the liquor?
Yeah, so Congress approves a Ukraine aid package of $1 billion because apparently the $18 trillion already in debt wasn't enough. And you guys all, we all have to pay bills. And, you kind of look at the account balance at the end. And, once it goes into the red, you're like, oh, we actually can't spend any more.
Yeah, so if your buddy walks up to you and asks you for a 20 spot, you go, oh, I can't, man.
I can't, man.
Man.
Everything's negative.
It's reserved
man.
for hookers and below.
Everything's negative. The bank is yelling at me. They ain't giving me any more money. There's nothing left there. But apparently, if you're the government, doesn't matter. You can just, give everybody money. Be like, hey, you guys want $1 billion? Yeah, we got an extra $1 billion to spare over here.
Yeah. No problem. We can spare it.
Yeah.
We got the printing press. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, until they stop using the money. And it's just really disgusting that this is what we're doing. Again, you have people in America that are just hurting left and right. You have all these other problems that we have. And yet you guys want to just keep giving other countries money. You shitheads. Like, what would possess you to give these people $1 billion? Again, they're fascists.
Because
you got the fascists against the communists, and you want to pick a side?
Because buying friendships in that part of the world has worked so well for us before.
Everybody loves us.
Yes. Until the money runs out.
Yeah.
No, even as we're giving them money, they still hate us. Let's be realistic. We keep spending money on people that hate us, and it doesn't make them hate us any less.
Yeah. That's weird, too, which they should hate us less, but they don't, though.
They don't.
Well, they don't, because as we give them the money, we bomb one part of their country.
Right.
So.
It's like, here's $1 billion. Oh, don't worry about that drone over there. It's not going to, oh, yeah. You know what? That village, you didn't need that one.
Yeah. But this aid package, though, look, we're giving that money, but the IMF in total is giving a whole bunch of money. It's like $27 billion.
$27 billion.
We are the IMF. we fund the IMF. The money coming out of the IMF is coming out of our coffers.
Well, it's everybody's.
Well, mostly ours. Yeah.
We
That's
a
just
whole lot to it.
UN forces is everybody's army. They put blue helmets on our guys, and our guys are the ones.
I would never wear a blue helmet, by the way. I would never wear a blue helmet. I would refuse. And I think I would actually be in every right to refuse, by the way. Because nowhere in the Constitution do they talk about the UN.
No, and that is true. And I mean, there are other countries that put in money, the UK and Japan, but it is very few.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that no one else puts money into it, but it's such an insignificant amount compared to us.
Yeah.
We are the ones who make that thing happen.
Oh, yeah. So you got to figure, we're not just giving $1 billion. We're probably giving about 15.
Yeah, probably close to that.
Because that's probably our share within the IMF. Mm-hmm. Which is just sad. But again, let's just do all this stuff. But, you voted for it. You voted for it. And for all you people, what does it matter? I don't really care about politics. They're spending your money and giving it to your crane, assholes. That's what they're doing with your money. But keep not paying attention, though. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about it. They're just going to keep doing this and probably start a world friggin' war. But you know what? That's not going to affect you at all, is it? Keep watching March Madness.
How's your bracket doing?
Yeah, how's your bracket doing? Are you still in the $1 billion one? Oh, no, I'm sorry. That wasn't going to happen. And that was just a freaking show anyway, you dumbasses. I'm angry at the people today.
You're angry today.
I'm angry at the people today on this one. You know why? Because somebody should give a crap and stop this stuff.
Well, we do.
Well, I understand that we do, and I appreciate that. I appreciate Greg and all that, but, I almost want to do a show where you're just joking it up because why bother? Why bother telling any of you people serious stuff? It's not like you're going to do anything but tell me, vote for Rand, or some crap like that.
I stand with Rand.
Yeah. I can't wait for 2016 because then he'll fix everything. God, if you people understood a little bit of politics, it'd be great. It'd be awesome to understand that there's these things called elected offices, and there's more than one. There's not just the one for Rand. There's ones for, I don't know, your congressperson. Not that you people would give a crap because you just hired David Jolly. Let's find the lobbyist to go up there. That would be good. Let's find the lobbyist neocon chicken hawk to go up there to make sure he's got one more vote to send our people overseas so more of our people can die, and so we can send our money overseas because eventually, I guess, military-industrial complex money will make its way back around.
But he had a $3,000 suit.
It was a nice suit, though. I'm not gonna lie. That part was nice.
Like I did. It was a black suit with brown shoes and blue socks.
I thought it was more of a gray.
Okay, gray suit with brown shoes and blue socks.
Yeah, no, he was wrong. I mean, he's all about wrong there. But I mean, you take the suit in and of itself. You can change the socks and the shoes, but the suit was nice, though.
It's still lipstick on a pig. I don't care how much the lipstick costs.
I would have liked to have seen that in like a prison bag. Like he had to give that up as they were throwing him in jail. Because that's where David Jolly should be. But because we have a bunch of people in this country that will decide to elect Republicans who are scumbags into office because they're too stupid to actually look at what the issues are and who would be the best for you. You pick somebody like David Jolly, and then you have a whole bunch of other people who actually do know better, and then they select that guy because they're playing the game. And then we wonder why we get in the position that we're in right now. And yet I'm crazy. I'm the crazy one because I go, maybe we shouldn't do that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Danielle.
Nothing. I was just, we missed the point I was going to make, so it doesn't make any sense now. But the White House unveiled a plan to end the NSA this week.
Okay, do tell.
You killed any chance of me actually putting in anything there that made sense. I didn't know what to do when you said my name. So I was like, going to the next thing.
Where are we going from here?
Obama actually said this week that they were going to stop the NSA from collecting the bulk telephone metadata.
Somehow I don't believe this.
I think it's going to be more along the lines of we're not going to tell you anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think they're just not going to tell us that they're collecting the bulk metadata.
So what is it? What are they going to do instead?
Well, I mean, it doesn't.
They're just going to listen in directly to the phone calls.
It doesn't say what they're going to do instead.
because they're not doing anything else instead. They're doing the same thing. They're just not telling us.
I mean, basically what they do is collect everybody's data from every phone everywhere and all of the data and, just kind of sifting through it and picking out what they want and then, further inspecting that. What they say they're going to do is basically just target certain phone data of people that, they're investigating. But I just don't see the end of this program.
Yeah, I think what they're going to say is they're going to go, all right, we're only going to get the data of Americans with letters in their names.
Right, it'll be like that. See, so you're safe.
Only the Americans that have skin or people that breathe. Only the ones that breathe are the only ones we're going after. Everybody else, you're safe. So if you go ahead and you hold your breath, we won't go after your data any longer. Welcome to America.
Merker.
Yeah,
But that's okay, Democrats. Keep voting for this guy, too.
Now, this is going to have to go through Congress. So even though
the Republicans are going to shut this one down.
the White House did propose it, and I think this is why, it's one of those, well, the White House is going to propose it. Obama knows that, listen, the NSA collection of bulk metadata is unpopular. The people don't like it. Everybody hates it. You're spying on everyone. And it is waking a lot of people up to stand up and say, hey, wait, I haven't done anything. You shouldn't be spying on me. So this is a, hugely unpopular program now that everybody knows about it. And I think Obama's kind of throwing a bone out there. It's kind of one of those theater kind of things where he knows it's not going to get through Congress. There's no way that it's going to get congressional approval. So he kind of throws it out there and says, I'm going to end the spying on American people, knowing full well that it has to go. This is like the one time he's not going to do it by executive order.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This guy will sign executive orders for anything. And then all of a sudden, this one's like, well, I need to get approval first.
Yeah, like if Congress doesn't do what I want, I'll just do it without him. Except for this one, we're totally going with Congress.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally Congress's responsibility.
You know what? Was it Wednesday? Yeah. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, I think it Wednesday. Wednesday, we are down in Miami.
Yes.
And we're driving around. Mm-hmm. And I like to have the radio on when I'm driving around.
Because he hates me.
And I like listening to talk radio when I'm driving around.
Because he doesn't have narcolepsy, but he really wants it.
Yes. But during the day, I like to listen to, like, from 12 to 3, as much as I do find this man disgusting, I do listen to, I'll listen to Rush a little bit. And he was telling this story. Except for, and again, the truth came out, which was beautiful to be able to hear. Because he did say what was going to happen.
Right.
And it will happen the way that he did say it was going to happen. I was very, very happy about this, actually, that he was at least to admit this. Is that Obama's going to do this, but he knows it's not going to pass. Mm-hmm. So he knows that he can lay this on the Republicans.
Right. Because they are the ones that are going to say no.
Because the Republicans will say no. The Democrats would say yes to this one. The Republicans are going to say no to this one. Because they think that this is caught in terrorists, which they have no proof of that at all.
There was like 6 people that they actually investigated because of this, and all 6 were the wrong people.
Yeah. So
good on you guys.
There's government for you.
Yeah. But who will not figure this crap out?
Who will harass the people?
Yeah. So he's going to try to get this done. And Obama doesn't want it gone either, by the way. He's just trying. He's just like, well, I'm going to try. Because he doesn't want this crap gone. He loves surveilling on people. This guy lives for this crap. This disgusting piece of human trash. Loves being able to spy on the American people. You know, you evil bastards up there in Washington, D.C. It's just unbelievable how evil you people are. But at any rate, this ain't going to go anywhere. They're not going to get rid of any of these friggin' programs. Obama's doing this just for show. He knows that the Republicans are going to stop him from being able to do this, and he wants the information anyway.
Well, yeah, and what the one thing that we did, Russia kind of said that, this is what was going to happen, although he was praising the Republicans for doing it. It was like, well, when the adults in the room, and it's like, show anyone where this is proven to be effective. Because every piece of every study that's been done, and it's been done by the government, I mean, like, it's been so bad that they can't even lie enough to say that this has been a good program. Like they're studying their own program and being like, listen, guys, I can't spin this any way that makes this look good.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, attentive flight attendants have stopped more terrorist attacks since 9/11 than the NSA and the Department of Homeland Security combined.
Yes. In fact, they're the only ones that have stopped any.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you really want...
Then flight attendants should now be part of that. They should be in charge of national security because they have done a better job. With less tools, by the way.
Less money, and they didn't even need to listen to your phone calls.
And they brought me peanuts and a drink.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying.
With a smile and polite. Man.
A pillow, a blanket if I'm cold.
And some of them are kind of cute.
I do my taxes, I don't even get a reach around.
You know, this lady's making sure that you're covered, that you're comfortable.
Ask you if you need a pillow.
Yeah, get you a soda if you need it.
Would you like headphones so you can watch the in-flight movie?
Oh yeah.
She offers a pillow. Government doesn't even offer Vaseline. It's crazy.
Not even. They charge you double for that.
That will be $7,000 for that dot of Vaseline, Mr.
Yeah.
Bowen.
You know, and these guys, and you know, and look, like these government programs like TSA, you pay them all of this money, right? They've found no bad guys. So, like, what's the solution to the no bad guy thing? Arm them.
That is the new proposal for the TSA. The TSA has released a 25-page report to Congress, making 14 recommendations on how to best prepare for and respond to an emergency. So their response, anything correctly, is we need guns to actually do
Yeah,
that.
hold on a second. Not only have these people not done anything correctly, but some of these people have been caught on with websites that are calling for the destruction of the country. They have been downloading the pictures of the naked body scans and putting them online and sharing them amongst each other. So let's arm them.
What confrontations have happened at security checkpoints in airports that caused them to carry guns? Has there been any conflicts?
There was the one in California where the guy opened fire on the TSA line.
Well, maybe they shouldn't have touched his balls.
But and there was one and you know the guy did get off some shots and you know and now if you would allow other people to carry their weapons in an airport, he would have only gotten one shot off. Just saying. There would have only been one. But no, and you know, anyone else, like these guys are literally to the point of what would be considered molesting or sexual, you know, deviant behavior if they were out on the street. If you were walking down the street and a TSA and an age and someone came up to you and patted you down like TSA does, you would literally have them arrested for sexually violating you. And now you're going to let them be armed while they do that?
Because there's too many libertarians that tell them not to touch their balls.
Yeah.
Stop these crazy.
Well, you know, there's something in this article that I thought was kind of funny, though. Not funny, but just something that was telling. It's at the end. It says the TSA does have 37 visible intermodal prevention and response called Viper teams. The heavily armed teams have mostly inspected transportation hubs other than airports, but since the November shooting, 50% of the Viper teams have patrolled airports.
No, the Viper teams were the ones where we reported last year we're going to bus stops.
Yeah. Bus stations, bus terminals, and stuff like that. Yeah, but when they came to Tampa.
Yeah. The Viper teams, and I didn't mean bus stops, I meant bus stations. They're at your kid's bus stop. No.
Yeah. Oh, God, I can't believe you just said that, Danielle, that you gave them an idea.
I know.
You have given them an idea. Now we're going to have TSA agents at the bus stops now.
Well, luckily our kids don't ride the bus. None of our kids
Not
ride
in
the
this
bus.
school, but you never can tell what they're going to do. They may have to make it mandatory for you to ride the bus.
So that they can pat
Like
you
you're not
down.
allowed to walk to school anymore. You know, back in my day, before they had TSA agents.
Here's the thing: if you were to, what they're doing, and this way overreach of your privacy as far as them, basically molesting you in an airport. Now they're going to be armed. That's generally doesn't that fall in the 10-20 life rule here in Florida?
You think?
It would. But those rules don't apply to the government.
Yeah.
Isn't that the definition of tyranny? That which is illegal for the citizens but legal for the government?
Yeah, I think we're there.
Oh, we're totally there. Texas Police Chief UC Zachariah or whatever, president of the International Association of Chiefs of Police, was consulted on the report and told USA Today that ideally local and federal agencies would be able to balance training and finances. And then he says, I think in a perfect world, if we had all the money and resources, that would be great. But unfortunately, these are going to have to be done on a calculated risk basis based on peak times and funding that is available, he said. I don't think there is an agency that can afford to put out police at every checkpoint. You might see roving patrols. In part because of the budgetary concerns, the sources told the AP that the report likely boosts the TSA's union's long-standing request for teams of armed TSA officers. The national president of the American Federation of Government Employees, J. David Cox, said such a measure would help municipalities meet federal guidelines that are often neglected. I read that part because I wanted to look at the employees unions that are now in charge of putting this stuff out, that they're putting the reports together, that are giving this to these agencies, that are changing things up because the employees said they wanted something different. Is that what we're doing now? Is it it's their job to say, well, I want to have a gun? Screw you. You know what? You have the freedom to associate with who you choose to associate with in the private sector, and I would never want to stop any of those things from happening. But every damn employee, the government employee unions, every one of them should be disbanded, should be completely disbanded. Because you know what? You don't have a union against us to pay for it. You scumbags. It's because we hired the lowest of the low for TSA to begin with. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Is that that's exactly what they did. Is that they just, the scum of the earth is who they put in this thing. People that just got on a power trip of being able to tell other people what to do because they were losers in life. And now we're going to arm them? It's pathetic. It's pathetic. And if you want to arm these people, that's fine. But I think we ought to go in there armed too. And we ought to see what happens. Because if these guys get out of line, somebody ought to put a cap in their ass.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of this,
I think Danielle's going to
I'm sick and tired of this, man. You know what? What they're doing is they're trying to get it to the point where you're going to have an armed conflict between people. That they want to go, you do not want to put guns in this area. Because you know what's going to happen is these people piss people off, and they do it on purpose. So they're going to shoot somebody dead. They're going to kill them. And when they do, the mob that will just ensue in that airport is going to kill every TSA agent left. And I don't want to see it happen, but it's going to happen. You people are molesting people, and now you want guns to be able to continue, make sure you can continue the process? You've ripped off people's colostomy bags, you scumbags. That's what you've done. You've done these things. I can't believe, and you TSA agents that do this stuff, screw you. I do not feel bad when bad things happen to you. This is what you've chosen to do. You've chosen your 30 pieces of silver. What you're doing for the destruction of this country is an embarrassment. And you know what? You better hope that the atheists are right, because you're going to have to atone for this one. And I don't think it's going to be I don't think St. Peter's going to give you a pleasant reception there. Sure, you're going to have fine burning in hell, though. Go ahead, Daniel. I'm sorry.
No, I have
What have you got to add?
I have nothing to add to any of that.
Would you like to reject any of those thoughts? Or?
I don't even know what to say to any of that.
Alex's thoughts are his own. They do not represent the 1787 network. They do not represent Danielle Alexandre or Greg Bowen.
Right? The Liberty Underground is not advocating for any of the views of Alex Nagger.
Well, since we're doing that, by the way, I think that the International Association of Chiefs of Police should be disbanded too.
Well, that I actually do agree with. I will actually agree with that one.
I don't have a problem with calling for the disbanding of government programs. It's the riots and killings that
that
Makes
I
me a little nervous.
kind of back away from.
It's not my fault they're going to shoot somebody and then have a mob overtake them. It's not mine. I didn't do nothing. I won't even be there that day.
I don't even fly.
I ain't even going to fly.
Okay.
I'll tell you who I do want armed, though. You know who I do want armed? I want the citizens armed.
Damn right.
Well, that I do agree with. Yeah.
And you know what? I'm glad that they're armed. I'm glad that some of these citizens are armed because they are taking matters into their own hands, and that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
In Detroit, they are.
In Detroit, they definitely
They
are.
kind of have to.
Now, I love this, man.
Detroit is basically disbanded police from even going outside at night. Like, there's no police patrols at night or anything like that. Which when this first, like as Detroit was kind of declining and you saw less police and all these other services, crime went through the roof. And, it was kind of, you did kind of see a little chaos ensue. But now people are starting to stand up for themselves and saying, no, not in my city. The police may not be coming when I call, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't protect myself. So you are starting to see there's more self-defense shootings in Detroit. In fact, there's a lot more. But at the end of the day, when you don't, it's, they always say, well, you have the gun grabbers that say, well, you don't need a gun. You have police. Well, you know what? They don't get there on time. They don't do this. And in Detroit, they're non-existent at night.
Yeah. They don't need guns to protect themselves. Tell that to the people of Detroit. Tell that to the person that is getting robbed and that they know the cops aren't but 4 hours away. You tell that to those people, you gun-grabbing scumbags. Sorry, go ahead, Greg.
Well, if you're dependent on the cops, then you're just a victim waiting to happen.
Right.
Cops do not protect you or prevent anything. They're a cleanup crew. They show up afterwards. They investigate. They find out what happened and they follow up on it. They don't prevent a damn thing.
Right.
The only thing that prevents anything is your fear of those cops, which keeps you from breaking laws. That's the only prevention method they have, is fear. They don't actually stand in your way and stop you from committing crimes. They come after the fact. They clean up. They pick up your body and take it to the coroner.
Yeah,
that's why you have to protect yourself.
Yeah, and look, and you can't ask the cops to do that anyway, though.
No, you can't.
Because
it's unrealistic.
Yeah, because they're just humans. I mean, it's not like, it ain't like the Minority Report around here. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got that going on yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, yeah, it might be the key word there, but...
You have Detroit Police Chief James Craig, and this is what he held a press conference and was going over some of the incidents that happened. And he said people who are faced with a dangerous situation are taking matters into their own hands. We're not advocating violence. We're advocates of not being victims. We're advocates of self-protection. We want people to be safe. So he's actually saying that this is a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, no. The Detroit Chief of Police, man, is into this.
Yeah.
He's into this. Now, here's some of the recent incidents, by the way. So, this is some of the things that have happened. So, on March 7th, a woman in her 50s shot and killed a man trying to break into her home on the 22,000 block of Grove Street. She heard noises at her rear window and shot the intruder in the chest. So, this is a woman in her 50s, by the way. Not some dude that's hanging out. It's a woman. At 2 a.m. on February 22nd, two men broke into a house on the city's southwest side. The homeowner shot both men. A 21-year-old man died, and the other one escaped. Now, let me ask you a question. The one died, but the other one escaped. Do you really think that guy's going to go out and rob anybody anymore?
No.
You think he might maybe find little Jesus there? He might find little Jesus there. Earlier on the same day, February 22nd at 12:30 a.m., a woman who was surprised by a gunman when she pulled her car into the garage was able to reach for her own gun and fatally shoot the man. A woman and again, so if she didn't have the ability to do that, if you thought that the Second Amendment was only for the militia and that woman shouldn't have the ability to carry that gun, she'd be dead right now. How would you feel? On a woman on February 17th opened fire on 3 teens who kicked in her door. The alleged intruders, ages 14, 14, and 15, were caught by police and charged with home invasion. That's beautiful, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is beautiful. And again, I don't want people to die, but if you're a criminal, if you're going through and all you're going to do is rob people and beat people up and stuff like that, I like that one of the citizens had a gun and shot you. If that's what you're going to do, then you're going to die.
Yep.
Maybe you people will stop doing it. Maybe if you realize that if you knock into this home that there's a good chance that I'm going to die, then maybe you won't rob people.
Yeah, and this is another quote from the police chief in Detroit. He said, "This should be a message to those who continue to perpetrate violence on Detroiters that enough is enough. You've got to be concerned about good Detroiters who aren't going to stand for it. Detroiters are fed up and they are taking action."
Yeah. The only people that stop bad guys with guns is good guys with guns. And it sounds so cliche and it sounds so simple, but it's the damn truth. These people that are like, well, why would you need firearms? Here's why. You want to move to Detroit, bitch? You want to go to Detroit without a gun? Every person should be armed. Now, I'm not saying you make a law arming everybody. I'm saying you leave it your choice. The problem is, and this is the big problem, is that you people tend to not understand that these weapons can be used for good. A gun is a good thing, not a bad thing. A gun will protect yourself. It will protect your ass when the cops won't. When they can't. When it's impossible.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the thing. And, you know, as much as the police force has not deterred violence in Detroit, and Detroit has been one of the most violent cities for, you know, a decade at least. But now you're going to see criminals stop breaking into homes because they don't know if that home is armed. Mm-hmm. They know how long it's going to take the police to get there. They know what's going to happen, you know, if they break into a home and that homeowner is going to rely on the police. They've learned that game. Mm-hmm. They've learned how much time they have. But when you know that you could break into the door and as soon as that door flings open, you could die, you're going to think twice about breaking into homes.
An armed society is a polite society.
Damn right. Damn right. I am more pro Second Amendment now than I have ever been. And you know what? I will fight vigorously any law that they will have that will try to change anything when it comes to the Second Amendment. We need, and again, people are going to go, this is crazy. We need more people to be armed.
Yes.
We need more people to know how to use guns. That's the thing. We need more people to know how to use them, though. We want to make sure people know how to use them. Again, I ain't trying to pass a law. But I am saying if you're going to get a gun, make sure you get the training to know how to use it.
Be a responsible gun owner.
Yeah, be a responsible gun owner. And join Gun Owners of America. Not to plug them, but don't join the NRA.
No.
GOA, baby. GOA. Mm-hmm. Good people. They're good guys.
I do think...
join GOA, you'll do good.
You know, go out, get yourself a weapon, go to the gun range, be, very secure in how to use the weapon, be very confident in your ability to be able to use it, because a lot of people buy a gun and then say, okay, I'm safe, the gun is in my closet.
Yeah, that's not good enough, man. You got to know how to use that thing. You know how to put that trash together. Be able to take it apart and put it back together, the whole nine. Yeah, you have to be confident. You have to have used it enough at the range where you know exactly how it's going to feel when you pull the trigger, that you know that you can handle that weapon and that there's no fear anymore. Because of course when you first, get a gun, there's that little bit of fear of if you do something wrong, you could really harm yourself or others. Yeah. But get to the range, get yourself some training, get very comfortable, get confident with using the weapon, and then put it in your closet. And then you know that if anything happens, you know how to use that, you're not afraid to use it, and you and your family will be safe. She's absolutely right, by the way. 150%.
I agree with all that. I also advocate learning martial arts. Not just taking booty boot camp in a 3-hour self-defense class. I'm talking about real martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
Real martial arts, going multiple times a week for an extended period of time and actually learning techniques and skills and becoming proficient. Because as much as I support everything you guys said, you will not always have your gun on you.
That's true.
But you will always have your martial arts.
That's a very good point, by the way.
And that's absolutely
Greg, you're wise beyond your years, my friend.
I totally got it from my sensei. My sensei is a former Marine who fully pushes that. I mean, he's all about responsible gun ownership, wants you to know how to use a gun, suggests you own a gun, but also says, make sure you are proficient in your martial arts because you will not always have your gun. But you will always need to defend yourself.
And you have to be confident in that as well, where you know that, not that you ever want to start an altercation, but that if an altercation comes, that you can handle yourself and protect yourself in all situations. And that's important. The more you practice these things and things like that, and, and I'm not saying practice by like go beating people up on the street, but make sure that you're confident in what you do.
Fight me. Fight me. Fight me. Oh, come on. That was funny. You know what? That was funny.
I'm not having any fun.
You were having fun with that. Get out of town with that.
But of all the,
God bless Detroit, by the way. I'm starting to really love Detroit.
I know, I really am.
You ready to move to Battle Creek?
Man, if it wasn't so damn cold up in Michigan, man, I'd do it. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer.
Now,
I want to buy some property up there.
one thing that Alex did put in the show prep because he just likes it. It has nothing to do with politics whatsoever. But after all the doom and gloom, I think this is probably a cool story to talk about.
Yeah.
So go ahead and tell us what Wu-Tang Clan is about to do.
Yes.
Look, this is look, nobody buys CDs anymore. Very, very few people do buy CDs or albums or anything like that anymore, right? And so, like, I can't believe somebody hasn't figured this one out first because this is a brilliant friggin' idea.
He's very enamored with this idea.
I am. I'm totally enamored with this. First off, I kind of like the Wu-Tang Clan anyway. Like, I'm kind of. I mean, I'm not a big rap guy, but there's a couple bands or a couple groups that I like, and the Wu-Tang Clan is one of them. You know, in high school, 36 Chambers, man. You know, those guys are cool.
He was very excited about this last night as he was like, "Are you busy? I want to read this to you." So I mean, this is very exciting for Alex.
I was into this. So listen to this story. As music sales have dwindled over the years, artists have increasingly turned into making special editions of their albums to entice hardcore fans to spend more hard-earned cash. But there's never been an album quite like what the Wu-Tang Clan is cooking up. In addition to releasing a 20th anniversary album, so they're going to release an album for everybody this summer called Better Tomorrow. The hip hop collective also recorded a double album in secret over the last 2 years and is only releasing one single copy of it. They're going to have an album. They're only releasing one copy of it. As reported in Forbes, Once Upon a Time in Shaolin will be encased in a silver and nickel box crafted by British Moroccan artist Yaya, which just is funny, and will probably sell for millions of dollars. However, before it's sold, the one-of-a-kind album will tour the world as many other famous pieces of art do, with stops at museums, galleries, and potentially music festivals. Fans will be charged a cost to attend a listening event where they'll get a chance to hear the album on headphones after being carefully screened for recording materials. This is, and don't get me wrong, I'm totally into this. This is really a cool idea, by the way.
I'll bet you $20 that album is available for download on the Pirate Bay before it even goes on tour.
I don't know. I don't know this yet. We're about to put out a piece of art like nobody else has done in the history of modern music, says Wu-Tang Clan member Robert RZA Diggs. So the RZA. We're making a single sale collector's item. It's like somebody is having the scepter of an Egyptian king.
Okay, wait.
That's a little
over the top.
That's a little over the top. But here's the thing, though, and this is the coolest part, by the way. So we don't even know what's going to happen here. Once that exhibition tour is complete, the Wu-Tang Clan will sell the album for an unspecified price of probably millions of dollars. From there, its owner will be free to do what he wants to do with it. While it's too early to say who will shell out the cash for this unique items, Forbes speculates that brands may be interested in the cachet of having this exclusive album. Another option may include a wealthy collector purchasing it and either liberating the audio for the masses or keeping the songs. So somebody might buy this thing
and never release
never release none of the songs and
or
just listen to it himself.
Give it out for free and let everyone have it.
Yeah, or we'll give it out for free and everybody can just have it.
Just let it free for download.
That ain't gonna happen, by the way.
No, I think it might.
I think it probably will.
I think iTunes will buy it and put it on iTunes and sell it for 99 cents a pop.
It could be.
Either way, this is awesome. Either way, and here's the thing: everybody will go and buy the other one because they think that that's the one that was the secret one anyway. Right. So they're totally going to boost sales. This is a beautiful marketing strategy. It's just a cool idea all around. Like, this is really cool. I got to give it to the Wu-Tang Clan for this. That's awesome, dude. That is totally awesome. I'm totally down with this.
He was very excited about this.
If they have one of these listening events that's locally around here, I will totally go to it, and I will be the only white person there.
No, probably not.
Probably not.
Well, I'll probably be the only one that has the balls to go to the area that they're probably going to be having. I'm just going to walk in like, Wu-Tang, bitch!
I love it. That's awesome.
So he actually was reading this to me last night, and I actually do think that it's a kind of novel idea. It's one of those to kind of bring in a new element into, you know, like buying albums and stuff, which you know, and with all the electronic devices and stuff, nobody's buying a CD. I mean, you know, very few people are. My daughter has some because she actually likes that. She likes to be able to have that hard copy.
I do. I'm the same way. I want to have that hard copy.
Yeah.
You know, this is the coolest thing that's happened to the Wu-Tang Clan since they were drafted by the Chinese in the racial draft. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that. This is the coolest thing that's happened to them since then.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
You guys don't remember that? You know,
I do.
Danielle, you don't.
Danielle
remember that?
has no clue what you're
No
talking
idea.
Oh, okay.
And it just sounds so wrong. Like
Was-
I feel
no.
like I need to have a disclaimer on every time you open your mouth today.
No, it's all right. What happened was this was a Chappelle show, which was one of the greatest shows ever. And they did that one show called The Racial Draft. And the Chinese had the last
okay.
pick, and they picked the entire Wu-Tang Clan.
I do remember that.
That's what I'm saying. This is the coolest thing to happen to Wu-Tang Clan since they got drafted by the Chinese in the racial draft.
Yeah. This should not be a clip that goes out for broadcast again.
This is when we should not be feeding. This is when we should be having audio problems.
Well, I don't know what the problem is, guys.
I'm kidding.
It's the Wu-Tang Clan, man.
I know.
I'm kidding. I'm playing along with Danielle. She has no idea what you're talking about.
And that's what you get when I don't check out the whole time. You know what I'm saying? I'm in this, man. I'm here, baby. I'm in this. What? Oh, what an hour.
You're a little out of sorts today.
A little bit. Oh, by the way, if you want to call the program, the number is 1-800-525-4032. Refresh Telecom, 1-800-525-4032.
If anyone has stayed on and is still listening, God bless you.
God bless America. Actually,
Glutton for punishment.
yes. I imagine that you are, though. You should talk to a psychologist or seek some professional help. To be honest with you. We tried. It just doesn't work, though. The website is 1787network.com. We're getting ready to take a break here, though. Then we go on for the hour-long on Tan Talk 1340, which will be going over a whole bunch of legislation of what's going on in Tallahassee.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
We will not.
Oh, that's...
we will be
we're
talking-
going
Read your show prep.
We're reading... Oh, Rick Scott. We got Rick Scott. Is Rick Scott calling in?
No, Rick Scott is
highly
not
doubt
calling
it.
in. But Rick Scott has had a very, very busy week this week.
He's been a busy little boy,
He's
hasn't
been
he?
a busy little boy, so we need to talk all about it.
Do you think that Rick Scott is going to sell an album and only put out one copy as well?
No, I actually think he's being fined like $82 million, so that may hamper the ability of doing that.
You think
For downloading music off of the internet without paying for it?
Is he getting fined for that? Wow, that is good.
We'll go over the story in hour number 2. You got to stay tuned. You got to listen.
There's your teaser.
Oh, don't tease me. Don't tease me. I don't like it when you tease me. It's wrong.
It's America.
It's not America. It's the opposite of America. At least you're not going to give me a quota for that, though. All right, man. Hour number 1's in the bag. Hour number 2's coming up. Liberty Underground. The Libertarian Party of Florida is excited to announce the 2014 State Convention. Join libertarians and friends from across the Sunshine State to hear great speakers including 2016 presidential candidate Darrell W. Perry, the chair of the National LP Jeffrey Neal, plus Donald Belanti, George Phillies, Wes Benedict, Tony Stiles, and more. Be sure to reserve your seat early for the banquet Saturday evening with keynote speaker Judge Jim Gray. Jim Gray, the former judge of the California Superior Court and author of Why Our Drug Laws Are Failed, was Gary Johnson's 2012 2012 presidential running mate. Arrive early to mix and mingle with friends at the Friday night social. All special events are open to the public, so even if you're not a registered libertarian, you are welcome to attend. The convention dates are approaching fast. Join us in Tampa Bay, May 16th through the 18th. Go to lpf2014.org to get your tickets today.
Hi, this is Gary Johnson, and you're listening to the 1787 Radio Network.
Facts about the red light cameras. Fact, you are guilty until proven innocent. The Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution grants you the presumption of innocence. Fact, red light cameras cause accidents. Accidents are up on an average of 40% at intersection with camera. Fact, cameras punish technical foul violations. Over 80% of tickets are written when the red light is on, under 1/2 second. Join the fight at www.banthecams.org. www.banthecams.org.
If you received a ticket in Florida, contact Oropesa Law Offices, 800-774-9883 or tacklemyticket.com. Attorney Oropesa understands the stress associated with being charged with a traffic ticket. In many non-criminal ticket cases, there may be no court appearance, no points, and no traffic school. Attorney Oropesa handles criminal violations, DUI, and license suspension matters. Don't face these serious legal matters alone. Initial consultation is free. Call now and you will be advised about any potential defense, constitutional rights violations, the possibility of having your driving privileges restored, or preventing a suspension from going into effect. If you've been classified as a habitual traffic offender, have a driver's license suspension matter, or a pending DUI case, call Oropesa Law Offices now so you can be advised about your particular case. Call 1-800-774-9883 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or visit tacklemyticket.com. Main office in Pinellas County and serving all of the Tampa Bay area. Find out more at tacklemyticket.com. Mention Liberty Underground and get 25% off.
Liberty starts with a like. Facebook.com/Liberty Underground.
You know Going Postal offers shipping with UPS, FedEx, and DHL International, and they're a full-service post office. And Going Postal is not just your one-stop shop for shipping. They offer copying, laminating, faxing, packaging, and they even have a notary public service. Visit our friends at Going Postal at the following convenient locations: Palm Harbor at the corner of Tampa Road and County Road 1 in the Sweet Bay Plaza, St. Pete on 66th Street, just south of Tyrone Boulevard near Publix, and be sure to visit their newest location at 35595 US 19 North at Alderman Road next to Publix in Palm Harbor.
When the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance has been recognized as highest in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience 5 years in a row by J.D. Power and Associates. For award information, go to jdpower.com. Call Row Insurance in Newport Richey today at 727-376-0030.
This is Liberty Underground with Alex Snicker, Danielle Alexandra, and Greg Bowen on the 1787 Radio Network.
Well, good morning, Clearwater, Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg. This is Alex, co-host, Liberty Underground. If you'd like to call the program, the number is 1-800-525-4032. That is 1-800-525-4032. Refresh Telecom, because we won't sell your information. We won't give your information to the feds without a warrant, and that's all you need to know. Along in studio with me right now is the Duchess of Doing Stuff, Tripoli's favorite libertarian, Danielle Alexandra. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good. Glad to hear you're doing good.
Survived the first hour.
Survived the first hour.
It was touchy there for a minute. I didn't think I was going to make it.
A little touch and go there, but I think you made it through. You made it
did.
through fine.
I
That's
did.
good. Good for you. Good for you, by the way. I'm glad you're doing it. Also, working the controls as well as he does is Greg Bowen. Greg, how are you doing, sir?
Spectacular.
He is the minister, or the prime minister of the Sinister, in case you didn't know that. But let's get right to it. You know what, guys? We play in Clearwater. I know that you guys are having to deal with the disgusting governor known as Rick Scott. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a whole bunch of stories today on exactly that. Let's talk about the great job that Rick Scott's doing in the state of Florida.
Well, at first I want to talk about his campaign because he's kind of lost a few people this week.
Oh.
The big money person that he lost was his top fundraiser. It was the co-chair of his basically fundraising campaign committee. Looking for the first name, Mike Fernandez, who just basically abruptly left this week. There was an incident that now, and Mr. Fernandez is actually not saying that this is the incident that caused him to leave, but we do know that he was very upset about it, that, he's there's been some background disagreements. He felt that there was some racist remarks going on within the campaign team. I guess there was one incident where they were actually on their way to an event at a Mexican restaurant, and people were, speaking in, very cartoon-like Mexican accents and kind of making fun of it, and he was very upset about this. But in all, he did send out a letter to the campaign leadership team and kind of put that out to the press that he was quitting to spend more time with his family and his business. He did praise the Scott campaign, so, he's still a Scott supporter, but he left very abruptly. And what the bigger kind of reason why this is hurting Governor Scott is this was a billionaire, a billionaire healthcare CEO who had been bringing in lots and lots of money to the Scott campaign, and he's no longer with the campaign.
You know what? I wonder if the people that were making those little funny remarks were actually fired.
Probably not.
And here's the thing, too, though. Look, if you're on your way to it, and I'll guarantee you that there are people that are listening to this show that have gone to, said that we're going to a Chinese restaurant, and on the way they probably said a couple things, like that's what they did. And then even like if they were going to a Hispanic restaurant, they're doing the same voice like that. I wouldn't necessarily call that racial, like racist, just because you're making fun of a voice. Look, if you were going to a country place, you'd probably go, "Hey, we're going to the Cracker Barrel." Like you can do the same thing at the Cracker Barrel. So it's not like it's you got to take your ribbons.
Yeah, and we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. That could have been the last straw of a very long, list of events. We have no idea. We do know that this was a large contributor to not only the Scott campaign, but Republicans in general. So I'm sure the RPOF is scrambling to make sure that this guy is happy. Just in 2012, just to the Romney campaign, between his contributions and what he raised, it was like $8 million. And that's $2 million less than he annually contributes to charity. This guy is giving huge amounts of money to the Republican Party. There was a little bit of controversy surrounding this person because this is the person whose healthcare company was winning a lot of no-bid contracts after he would donate large sums of money. This is the $1 million donor that won a contract the week later.
Yeah.
So, no, regardless of what was happening behind the scenes, there was some kind of there was some scandals, at least kind of alleged scandals going on in the paper between Mr. Fernandez and the Scott campaign, because there was definitely the looks of a pay-to-play relationship here.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think the bigger story here is the pay-to-play relationship, not the fact that these guys were using a cartoonish accent on the way to, wherever they were going.
Yeah. So, listen, the guy has raised, he's said to have raised like $45 million already for the Rick Scott campaign. And that could be maybe money that he, from the last campaign and combined with this campaign. But this is a big money guy. So to lose a huge money guy in your campaign is, that ain't fun.
Yeah, especially when you need all that money to snow over the voters of Florida to get them to vote for you.
You ain't winning on your
money. Yeah.
Like, you're not winning on your charm.
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't exactly. You ain't winning on your charm. That's for damn sure. So
this has been a kind of a big loss. Now, after this, Mr. Fernandez, Mike Fernandez left. Gonzalo Sanabria, a longtime Miami-Dade Expressway Authority board member, also resigned. And he resigned, and he said because of the disparaging and disrespectful treatment of Mike Fernandez. So not only, and this was a, longtime Republican, party favorite, he's been on a lot of boards, also, big money person. But not only did Mr. Sanabria leave the Scott campaign, and he wasn't really a part of the campaign, but he was part of the administration, being on the Expressway Authority board. He's also left a leadership post within the Republican Party of Miami-Dade County. So he's backing away from the whole party.
Nice.
Uh-oh. I'm sure there's more to this story than this, though, by the way. I'm sure there's something else that's going on here that we are not aware of.
Basically, both of these men are, Cuban. They came here from Cuba, basically brought themselves, came here. Both of them really kind of are a success story as far as coming over, immigrating here to this country, coming here with nothing, becoming very successful, and coming here not knowing anyone and not having any money and becoming very successful. So, I mean, both of these people are very, kind of looked at and respected in the Hispanic community, as both of them are from Miami-Dade County, and both of them were very upset with the way the Scott campaign ran. And this could be kind of one of those where you're going to see more and more kind of people saying that the Scott campaign itself is, maybe practicing a little, discrimination tactics, or at least that there's people within the campaign that have very kind of racist views, because this is two top people in the campaign that have both left within the same week. And the second one, Mr. Sanabria, saying it was because of bad treatment of Mr. Fernandez.
Now, something else that happened here. It looks like he was one of the guys that was a vote to raise the tolls, and that he wasn't being reappointed because of that. That once the time was up, his time was up. So, like I said, there's probably a little bit more to it than that. But at the same time, you're never going to know when these big rich people who want to use the force of government to get their own way and get no bid contracts. You never can tell what their real motivation is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but he's also left the party. Not left the party as far as the Republican Party, but it left at least a leadership role. So something happened here where he not only was upset with Rick Scott, but upset with the party where he left. And I definitely don't think we're getting the full story here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, you're definitely not going to get the whole story there. But then again, that's going to happen with this administration, because these guys are. Well, I mean, what else you got to say? I mean, you can see for yourself how much of a bunch of corporate scumbags these guys are.
Well, and this is what Mr. Sanabria wrote. The Hispanic community of South Florida is a key component of this great state's vibrant socio-political fabric, and treating us as you have is a grave mistake, as it pains me to tell you what you will find out to the chagrin of us loyal Republicans. Good luck, Governor. I'm not a fan any longer.
Aww.
So, I mean, he definitely left swinging, where Mike Fernandez left saying, I still support Governor Scott. I'm not going to be a part of the campaign anymore. Mr. Sanabria, not so much. He's basically saying good luck because you don't have my support anymore.
Yeah. Well, and I think that this guy is probably more for the fact that he wasn't going to be able to get back on that board. That's what I think this one has more to do with. Not to give Rick Scott a pass or anything like that.
But you know what? We're hearing that he wasn't going to be reappointed by a Democrat Party spokesman, so we don't really even know how truthful that is.
Well, yeah, I mean, you never can tell with a lot of this stuff, but, I mean, look, at the end of the day, this guy's making the right move for the wrong reasons. I mean, I don't know if he's going to go with, maybe he'll go with Adrian Wiley, you never know, but, you know, or he'll go with Charlie Crist because he supported him in the past, too, because he was in the
Probably their
Republican
buddies,
Party.
too.
Yeah, it's not like these guys are that far removed from each other. This guy was probably out raising millions for Charlie Crist when he was running as a Republican. It's hard not to laugh at all this stuff, too, by the way. It really is, because there's so much stuff that these guys do that's just, like, you got to laugh to keep from crying at this point.
You do.
Yeah.
So, Rick Scott, losing billionaires. Good for him.
Not only is he losing billionaires, but some of his key positions, some of the things that he was doing in office, he's also starting to retreat from. One of those is the plan to purge the voter rolls. Now, this was a very, very unpopular plan with a lot of groups. You know, but basically he was very much targeting people who had come to this country from somewhere else. So the voter rolls, I mean, it was definitely aimed at trying to find people who were, you know, undocumented, but were still, you know, had found some way to be able to vote. So it was a very targeted voter purge, but he is backing away. Probably because people are not liking him so much because of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here's my problem with this, though. Look, you've done this, Danielle, and I've done this, and I'm sure Greg's done this. You've called on the voters' rolls. You've talked to people that are part of the that are registered voters, and you've used the Florida data in order to do it. Now, I can call the data in Florida a whole lot of things, but accurate ain't one of them.
Yes.
That is true.
So, in my opinion, these voter rolls need to be cleaned up.
Yes.
Oh, and nobody is disagreeing with that. I mean, definitely anyone who has used the voter records will tell you in about 10 minutes that they are all sorts of messed up. But what this purge was targeting a very specific group of people. This wasn't cleaning up all of the voter rolls. This was only cleaning up the voters that were registered that had claimed to come from a different country, and trying to find their legal status for being in this country. So this wasn't, they wanted to check to make sure Alex Snicker's phone number was correct.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I understand, but that does need to be done, though.
Well, I think that you have to do it in a large attempt to clean up all of the voter rolls. I don't think that you should be targeting, because what happens, and this did happen to quite a large amount of people, is that some of the people that were targeted who happened to be born in even another state were actually removed from the voter rolls when they shouldn't have been.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's like they don't fix the real problem. They want to fix the fake problem.
Right.
They got to make up a problem.
Yeah, one that doesn't really exist in order to... But when you could actually spend some time to fix the real problem, which is your voter data is not accurate.
Right. And that's the thing, is if all of the voter data was accurate, and then you needed to, well, we have, you know, people who are undocumented here illegally voting when they shouldn't be, that would be one thing. But when you don't have anyone's stuff correct. You know?
Yeah.
When everybody's information is all sorts of jacked up, like, targeting probably isn't something that you need to do, because you need a full blanket cleanup of all of it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that it would have been a much more popular, you know, kind of voter cleanup, you know, where if they had gone in and said, listen, we know our data is all sorts of messed up. We're going to go through and go county by county and just clean it up. That would have been, I could have gone and said, you know what, that needed to be done. But when you target a very specific group, that's when it's wrong, because you don't have everybody else's stuff correct either. So you are targeting people just based on their ethnicity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, you know what, by the way, you know who we need to get on? We need to get Brian Corley on.
Oh, yeah. I like
I want to get Brian Corley, and again, I want to do it in a nice way, but I do want to ask the question, why are the voter rolls messed up?
Yeah.
I want to ask him straight up, why are the voter rolls messed up? And you know, you can go, well, you know, you have to give me specific names. No, I don't have to. I'm telling you, I've already called these people on the damn voter rolls, and the information's messed up. What's the problem? You know what I mean? Like, you know, people have been moved out of places for a long time. How come that stuff's not getting purged?
Right. Right, and we do see that because even on a county level, I have to say the state information is much worse.
That's true. Yeah, but the state gets their,
Excuse me.
the state gets their information from the counties, though.
Well, yeah, and that is true, but somehow, and if you look at the state's information about Pasco County and what we pull from Pasco County, they are different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, because they do collect it differently, I guess. I mean, or not, they kind of...
I don't know what happens.
They don't look at it the same way.
They don't look at it the same way, but when you get... Because we pull both. We pull it specific for our county, and then we also pull it from the entire state. And the numbers are not the same. And the information is not the same. And if you go by the county's information, it is much more accurate.
Yeah, I don't know how they're doing that. I don't know how that's being a problem, but
I don't know, but it
I hear
is.
you, though. I definitely hear you.
And we know from experience because we use both.
Yeah, yeah. Now, also, what's going on out there, and this is, again, this one is, even though this story is about Rick Scott, and it's going to sound like an attack in the beginning, in all actuality, I'm going to attack somebody different than who this thing is going to say that they're attacking here. Because this really is a bunch of crap.
All right.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is a bunch of crap. But go ahead, Danielle.
Well, it looks like Governor Scott's reelection campaign could be fined as much as $82 million if he's found guilty of accusations of campaign finance violations. And basically, the state Democrat Party chair, Allison Tant,
The taint.
filed a complaint with the Florida Elections Commission on Monday. What she's alleging is that Rick Scott illegally transferred about $27 million from the governor's longstanding electioneering communication organization called Let's Get to Work, which anyone who's been around the governor's race knows that his PAC, is called Let's Get to Work.
Yep.
But he is formed, that was kind of the electioneering communication organization. He actually formed it into a PAC, into an actual political action committee sometime at the end of last year. And they transferred $27 million from the communication organization to the PAC. And she's complaining about that.
Yeah, the taint's complaining because the money was transferred. Now, here's the thing. This is, and they did an update. Like, they put this story out in the morning, and then there was an update for it later on. And the update is that two Democratic state election experts, two Democratic state election experts
Yeah, I don't think that
took
exists.
issue, what?
I don't think there's any Democrat election experts.
Oh. That's what it says right here.
Well, I know that's what it says.
What, you believe the mainstream media?
I just think they're using the term expert a little loosely.
They're playing it fast and loose with the term expert.
Okay, that's fine. So, but they took issue with French's argument in interviews with the Huffington Post on Tuesday. French has said that the transfer of funds was legal because the electioneering communication organization had been terminated and was just distributing the money or dispersing the money. Mark Heron, an election lawyer, dismissed French's defense. I get it. I understand it. It's the subterfuge. How does that?
Subterfuge.
Subterfuge. That they went through to transfer the money illegally. It's allowing them to do indirectly what they can't do directly, Heron said. Which, again, there's a couple problems here. And the last thing is here. Ron Meyer, another expert on state campaign finance laws, well, we want to call him an expert, not it's up to a thing, told HuffPost, if it's not blatantly illegal, it certainly violates the spirit of the law. Now, these guys want to bring up the spirit of the law. So here's the first thing. Look, legally, he's allowed to do this.
Yeah, I don't see anything coming of this. By the way.
For the Huffington Post to put up an article that says Rick Scott campaign accused of violating campaign finance laws, which it used. I thought it was different than that.
What?
I thought that the article itself was actually. I thought they wrote $82 million in the article, but maybe they didn't.
It's at the top. It says that it's the first line.
Well, I know, but I thought that the title of it actually had that in there. But I guess it didn't. But this guy could be fined $82 million when you know that legally they actually were allowed to do this. This is horrible form by Huffington Post, which just shows you blatantly the agenda. Now, I don't like Rick Scott I don't like Rick Scott at all.
WileyForGovernor.com.
WileyForGovernor.com, of course. But Huffington Post, you guys are scumbags for this one. Because you can talk about all the different things that Rick Scott has done that is bad. This ain't one of them. And if you're going to have this story and we're going to start talking about spirit of the law, if that's the real argument you want to have, then where's the article that they put that John Morgan, the ambulance chasing scumbag from Florida, put Charlie Crist's face all over every billboard in the state of Florida, put him on newspapers, put him on TV, and that you literally got behind a movement so you could try to get Charlie Crist elected into office. You guys did that, and now you're going, well, he was not running for office. Don't give me this, only the Republicans pull this crap, when you guys pull the same crap in the same race. And John Morgan put Charlie Crist's stupid face all over billboards all over the state. The hypocrisy of you people is pathetic. It really is pathetic. Because don't get me wrong, I don't like that Rick Scott has all those millions of dollars that he probably got through illegal means and through the fact that he was screwing people over, and he, through all the healthcare crap when he was head of Columbia or HCA or whoever he was. HCA. But let's call them out. Let's call them all out then. You call out Charlie Crist for what's been going on with John Morgan. Because you know what? Spirit of the law, he shouldn't be doing that. And since you guys want to bring this crap up, well then why don't you do it the right way? Instead of showing everybody that you're just in the bag for one side or another. A little honesty right now would be a good thing. I know that's going to be well beyond the people at Huffington Post to actually even understand what the word honesty means. But it would be nice if you could just be a little honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, Charlie Crist's picture has been all over every billboard, all over the state of Florida for Morgan & Morgan. Now, did it happen? Did his picture go on before he was running for governor? Yes, it did. But if we're going to talk about spirit of the law, that would be a violation of the spirit of the law.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It would be a clear violation of what the intent of that law is supposed to be. But Huffington Post is going to put an article. He's going to get fined $82 million. No, he's not.
Yeah, and he's not. I mean, this is going to blow over just like the whole... And listen, in all fairness, the Republican Party did put in a complaint that John Morgan has Charlie Crist's face all over his billboards. That violation is also going to go nowhere. Both of them are going to go nowhere. These are just stupid attacks on each other so that it can end up in the paper. And that's all it is. These complaints are only made so that they end up in the paper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And again, the real problem here is that all of them are doing it.
Yes.
That's the real problem, is that Charlie Crist is doing it like Rick Scott is doing it. They're both doing the same thing. They have different corporate interests, but some of them all have the same corporate interest. ATS is for a great example. Mm-hmm. We put out an article on Liberty First last week. I wouldn't call it an article. I'd call it an Excel spreadsheet, but we listed out who has ATS given money to. You want to know why there's red light cameras still in the state of Florida? Go look at this list. Because they've given the Democrats and Republicans, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Almost, just an enormous amount of money. And you watch this, and you know why we have what we have right now. Because they're in cahoots with the League of Cities. They're in cahoots with the police chiefs. They're in cahoots with all these people. We got to take a break, though.
There's more.
But there's more.
There's more when we get back.
Yes.
There's more when we get back. No, absolutely there's more when we get back, by the way. There is more of what's going on. You're listening to Liberty Underground. Libertarian Party of Florida is excited to announce the 2014 State Convention. Join libertarians and friends from across the Sunshine State to hear great speakers including 2016 presidential candidate Darrell W. Perry, the chair of the National LP Jeffrey Neal, plus Donald Belanti, George Phillies, Wes Benedict, Tony Stiles, and more. Be sure to reserve your seat early for the banquet Saturday evening with keynote speaker Judge Jim Gray. Jim Gray, the former judge of the California Superior Court and author of Why Our Drug Laws Are Failed, was Gary Johnson's 2012 presidential running mate. Arrive early to mix and mingle with friends at the Friday Night Social. All special events are open to the public, so even if you're not a registered libertarian, you are welcome to attend. The convention dates are approaching fast. Join us in Tampa Bay, May 16th through the 18th. Go to lpf2014.org to get your tickets today.
Hi, this is Gary Johnson, and you're listening to the 1787 Radio Network.
Facts about the red light cameras. Fact, you are guilty until proven innocent. The Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution grants you the presumption of innocence. Fact, red light cameras cause accidents. Accidents are up on an average of 40% at intersection with cameras. Fact, cameras punish technical foul violations. Over 80% of tickets are written when the red light is on, under 1/2 second. Join the fight at www.banthecams.org. www.banthecams.org.
If you received a ticket in Florida, contact Oropesa Law Offices, 800-774-9883 or tacklemyticket.com. Attorney Oropesa understands the stress associated with being charged with a traffic ticket. In many non-criminal ticket cases, there may no court appearance, no points, and no traffic school. Attorney Oropesa handles criminal violations, DUI, and license suspension matters. Don't face these serious legal matters alone. Initial consultation is free. Call now and you will be advised about any potential defense, constitutional rights violations, the possibility of having your driving privileges restored, or preventing a suspension from going into effect. If you've been classified as a habitual traffic offender, have a driver's license suspension matter, or a pending DUI case, call Oropesa Law Offices now so you can be advised about your particular case. Call 1-800-774-9883 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or visit tacklemyticket.com. Main office in Pinellas County and serving all of the Tampa Bay area. Find out more at tacklemyticket.com. Mention Liberty Underground and get 25% off.
Liberty starts with a like. Facebook.com/Liberty Underground.
You know Going Postal offers shipping with UPS, FedEx, and DHL International, and they're a full-service post office. And Going Postal is not just your one-stop shop for shipping. They offer copying, laminating, faxing, packaging, and they even have a notary public service. Visit our friends at Going Postal at the following convenient locations: Palm Harbor at the corner of Tampa Road and County Road 1 in the Sweet Bay Plaza, St. Pete on 66th Street just south of Tyrone Boulevard near Publix, and be sure to visit their newest location at 35595 US 19 North at Alderman Road next to Publix in Palm Harbor.
When the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance has been recognized as highest in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience 5 years in a row by J.D. Power and Associates. For award information, go to jdpower.com. Call Row Insurance in Newport Richey today at 727-376-0030.
Welcome back to Liberty Underground. If you'd like to call the program, the number is 1-800-525-4032. The Refresh Telecom line, 1-800-525-4032. All right. Back on the Rick Scott bandwagon, I guess you could say.
I don't know if I'd call that a bandwagon.
Maybe the bandwagon to make fun of him. That could be a good way to use it. The next thing is, and this is in the infinite wisdom of Rick Scott here, $5,000 trooper bonus for writing more tickets.
Yeah, this is he's Rick Scott has come out with this proposal that he wants to have what he's called job performance bonuses.
Yeah, job performance bonuses.
So what they're doing is they want to create a bonus based on how many hours you have with actual people. So this is, citizen hours. You were engaged in something with a citizen of Florida.
Yeah. Now Troopers issued more than 800,000 tickets last year.
Right.
I mean, put that into account here. 800,000, and they want more.
Yeah. So when you this is going to raise the bonus based on how many hours you're going to be engaged with a citizen. But of course, if this is the state troopers, this is basically the highway patrol and stuff. So what do they engage in when they're engaged in with the citizens? Tickets.
Yeah, that's what they're engaged in. So what they're going to do now is what was the minimums now? What's the quota? By the way, now they're admitting the quotas.
I have a different story up than I think you do.
Well, no, it says how many contacts that they have to have with people to get the bonuses.
I don't see that. If you see that, please tell me what it is.
Oh, okay. I'm for some reason the article that I had all of a sudden disappeared.
Okay.
Well, that's okay because we have a caller on the line.
Oh, we do.
We have Charco the chicken on the line. Charco.
Oh, really? Charco, how are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you, Alex?
I'm doing very well. Just remember, you're on Tan Talk 1340. Just so you know. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Well, I will definitely keep it as clean as I possibly can. My opinions are obvious about troopers getting bonuses and all that. I don't want there to be more bogus tickets, and if someone's actually endangering people, then reward the efficient cops and all that. I was going to talk about something different, though. This is a totally different subject, actually. I keep saying Keystone equals kilo plus oil, and libertarians keep agreeing with me, and Democrats are kind of like, what's kilo? And Republicans all get mad at me. And the kilo case was this takings case that conservatives got all angry about, where this old lady named Kilo was fighting against the city of New London, Connecticut, against the mall, and the eminent domain had been triggered by the city's want for tax revenue from a mall, and ultimately the mall, after years and years of litigation, has never even been built, and the lady's house was torn down, and now it's rubble, and there's a bunch of rubble sitting there. But basically the principle behind that case, which outraged conservatives so much, is the same as the principle behind the Keystone case, and conservatives are all behind it because they apparently like this foreign oil company. And I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute, don't you all like property rights anymore?
Well, just to make sure, explain to people what the new case is about. What's going on there?
Well, in the new case, the Keystone case, there's a giant pipeline going from the Canada oil sands down to refineries in Texas, which would be a good thing if all the property owners in between them and Canada agreed on it. But some of the property owners do not agree to have this oil go across their land and want to charge a higher price than Keystone wants to pay. Basically, eminent domain is letting a corporation that's politically well-connected steal, in this case, land for less than the people want to pay for it, or in some cases it's a downright violation of religious rights, because it's not just an individual landowner that has made the deal. Actual Indian tribes, which were nations, have made the deal with our nation to say, hey, this is our land, we get a tiny little postage stamp, but this is our land. And now they're coming across it with this oil thing, and this is sacred land to these people. And whether or not you agree with them or have any sympathy for them, it's almost a tradition at this point to screw the Indians.
Well, yeah, no, we've done a pretty good job of it, even though I will say that in turn we've given them the casinos. That's not a bad thing. But you're right, though. But you're absolutely right, though. If the people do not want it over their land, then they got to find a new route. They just got to find a new route.
Yeah, or find a new energy source. I mean, this could mean, if you pay the actual cost of this land, and for a price, I'm certain everybody's willing to sell. But if you pay the actual cost for this land, maybe it's too expensive, because maybe what we should be doing is using liquid fluoride thorium reactors. But that's another day and another rant.
That is another day for another rant. But James, thank you very much for calling in. We appreciate it every time Charco graces us with your presence, sir.
You guys rock.
Thank you. We'll see you later. All right, on the line with us right now. Oh, he's moving over. Sorry. I know. Sometimes the technology does not work as quickly as my mouth.
I did find that would be the quota would be 4 trooper contacts every hour.
For an hour, we'll get you the $5,000 bonus.
Yes, it says something maybe 2,500 or 5,000. That's unclear. I don't have exactly all the details here.
All right. Well, hopefully Rick Scott will put out a policy statement on that. Now on the line with us is Brandon Jones from the Global Dispatch, on his way back from a beautiful, beautiful time at MegaCon. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm very blessed. How are you guys?
Doing pretty well. So what was your overall take after MegaCon, Brandon?
What a turnout. Wow. 75,000 people was the reported number. It was absolutely swamped. I mean, when I was there on Friday, it felt like a Saturday. Saturday is like standing, like, arm in arm. It was almost too crowded. But God bless them. I mean, what a turnout. Wow.
No, it really was a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Now, did you see anything? Was there any? What was like the craziest thing that you did see there?
Craziest thing from a costume standpoint?
No, just overall. You pick.
From a costume standpoint, I'll go with someone who did a, Maleficent. Angelina Jolie's playing Maleficent in the new movie, and this person dressed like that and was on stilts. So they were about 10 feet tall, maybe 12 feet tall, walking around. That was pretty cool. That was pretty wild.
That's pretty awesome.
Did she fall down? Did she fall down?
Oh, no, not at all.
Wow. All right. So knew how to use the stilts as well then.
Oh, she was definitely into her character.
All right. Well, there you go. There you go. Well, what's going on this week? What's going on this week on the Global Dispatch, Brandon?
Well, I think the biggest story, I think, for us right now is the IRS thing, just thumbing their noses at Congress, saying, we will not comply and give you email proof that Lois Lerner and the IRS was targeting, Tea Party, conservative, or religious groups. And it was just a very sort of surreal approach to an agency like this, and I don't know why. I don't know about you, but as a congressman, I don't want to drive over there and just put chains in the door. That's what you would do to me if you're auditing me, and I don't adhere. So why would we do it to the IRS?
It really is amazing the gall of the IRS in this situation. It's another reason why you don't want to have groups and organizations that have this much power, because they're just like, well, we're just not going to do it. We're just not going to do it. I don't understand how they can even get away with this. But I mean, Lois Lerner should probably be sitting in jail right now for what she's done.
Yeah, they're just covering all her tracks. They're not allowing for any evidence to come forward to who else that might implicate.
Unbelievable. Now, what else is going on out there?
I have a story coming up. I'll probably get to it this afternoon. I wasn't able to get it on there, but we have an IBM executive talking about not only is the biometric tracking here, and we're going to be tracking people and going to be able to have, microchips and know about your health, so we can track kids and, if they get abducted and all these different things, that not only should we get over ourselves accepting it, we should start figuring out how we're going to use that information. So if you think the NSA is bad, they're already past the NSA as far as accepting the NSA. They're already onto the next program of actually tracking you more so as an individual.
Hooray! Good news today on a Friday. Really good. Now, there's one article, and I wanted to get to one that's on there that I wanted to talk about here. Is that there was an atheist group in Wisconsin that called Governor Scott Walker a theocratic dictator. Now, the reason, though, was that all he put up was, and how do you say that word?
I don't know. I'm not on the
Philippians.
same story.
It's Philippians.
Did I actually say it right? Philippians 4:13. Yeah. Do you know what Philippians 4:13 is, Danielle?
I know what it is, yes.
Okay, what is it?
Well, I don't know exactly what it says. And I'm not on the same story as you. I know what it is.
Oh, well, the scripture reads, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, here's the thing. Did he say it on the floor of the State House? No. Did he do it in a press conference? No. It was in a dang Twitter feed or a Facebook post.
Just to clarify, he just wrote the verse, name, and number. He didn't actually quote it.
Yeah, he just wrote the verse and the number. That's all he did. And these atheists just get up in arms over, oh my God, he's a theocratic dictator. Look, man, there's a lot of reasons you can call people dictators. Putting a Bible quote, and not even the quote, but just the name and number on there is not that. Again, these atheist groups go way out of their way. Look, you can complain about some stuff that's going on in the government when it comes to, to that, but this is not anything even close to anything that you can complain about. Like, it just... When they do this, it shows that they're just stupid. I'm sure that's not the word you would use.
Well, it's not even the group that is the Freedom From Religion group, which is usually the one that files these kind of lawsuits and tries to attack people. It's actually an atheist group. There is a group called Freedom From Religion, where they just believe we shouldn't have any religious presence at all in any of the public square. So it just kind of shows where we are. There's there's an extremist group for every little clique, and this just happens to be this one.
Yeah, and this is another one that should just be, shown for the joke that they are, because it's just a joke. I mean, look, if it's a joke. These people are jokes for this. Look, there's nothing wrong with Scott Walker doing that. Nothing at all wrong with that. And I'm not a person. I'm not a person that would get up here and do anything like that. But this is not a problem. So, but at any rate, what else is going on out there, Brandon?
Well, I wanted to ask, if he tweeted E equals MC squared, is he some sort of scientifically minded blind dictator? Are we allowed to do that? I mean, what if he quotes something from, Nietzsche or something like that? I mean, does it work the other way? Because I can see get a square answer on that.
I'm sure you would get a square answer on that. I like that. Very good. Very good. I like the pun. No, you're right. If it's something that they would agree with, then they wouldn't say anything. Again, free speech is not for the speech that you agree with. It's for the speech that you don't agree with. That's why you needed a First Amendment, because people are going to say things that other people aren't going to like, and they can't pass a law to ban them from doing it. And it doesn't matter. I don't care if you believe in God or not. Let him say what he wants to say.
And he did it on his own page. I mean, this was like his page that talks about him and what he, his thoughts and whatever. So if that's what he wanted to post, I mean, he didn't make everyone start reciting it. He just posted it on his own private page.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And look, and that organization is allowed to call Scott Walker whatever they want to call him too. So I guess you have the freedom to do that, but just like I have the freedom to call you stupid for doing it. That you're an idiot for doing that part. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brandon.
No, I'm good. You're echoing my thoughts. I mean, that's kind of how I feel, too. You have the freedom to call them stupid. They have the freedom to say what they want to say, and to each their own. And everybody needs to just kind of lighten up a little bit.
Yeah. Let Scott Walker do that stuff. It's not going to, it's social media, guys. It's almost like this is one of the backlashes of social media, is that these people are just begging to find something to complain about. So they're watching Scott Walker's feed, and then they're like, "Oh boy, I got the smoking gun here. Fire up the press release. Let's get going here. Let's condemn this. Let's make sure we look like the dumbasses that we are." So I'm sorry, Brandon. Go ahead. What else is out there?
Well, I probably have to wrap up here soon. I'm getting ready to screen Noah. But yeah, we had great interviews this week. Ed Asner was on with us this week. Had some technical issues in the beginning, but Ed is a very unique individual, so it was interesting talking to Ed Asner. Kerry Preston from True Blood was on with us, Michael Gill from House of Cards, and some great interview opportunities this week, and more to come.
Boy, this guy is just upping his game to levels that are just amazing to see. Brandon, Can
I preview one that I got in the hopper? It's not concrete yet, but I'm about ready to, I believe, speak to the former U.S. ambassador to the Vatican. Don't ask me how that came together, but it kind of fell in my lap, so I should be able to close that deal and hopefully have an interview with them next week.
Man, you're good, brother. I'm telling you, Brandon, you are truly blessed today, sir.
Absolutely.
All right, and his name is Brandon. The website is theglobaldispatch.com. Brandon, thank you so much, sir.
Hey, keep up the good work and talk hard.
Talk hard. And enjoy Noah. I hope you have a good time. He already hung up.
I think he's gone.
Already hung up at that point. Sorry about that.
He's gone.
And he's gone. That's really cool, though. I'm really happy with... I'm happy for Brandon, and he is getting, he is upping his game on the interviews, by the way.
Yeah.
If you get guys like Ed Asner, wow, Brandon, he's doing good. I remember, I'm sure years from now we're going to go, man, remember when that guy used to do our show, man, before he got all up?
Yeah, I know. Now we beg him to call us back, and he's like, I don't have time for you people.
I'll get to that when I get to that, guys.
I have important interviews to do.
I got stuff to do today. Now, the last thing, well, I guess maybe not the last thing, but the next thing I did want to talk about here, though, is if you guys are unaware, the state of Florida, the House and the Senate did pass a bill that was going to be allowed to extend in-state tuition rates for public colleges and university to undocumented immigrants, or it says here some undocumented immigrants or illegal aliens. It passed the first hurdle on Thursday when the state house voted 81-33 in favor of it. So it looks like, and Rick Scott's going to sign this.
Wait, I mean, it still has to pass the Senate. But this was one of Will Weatherford's basic pet projects for the year, and he said that. I mean, he said it in not very loudly, but in a lot of circles he did say it. This was his project for the year. He got it passed. We talked about it last week, I think, because my whole issue with this is, why are we picking winners and losers in education? Why don't we just stop in-state tuition altogether and stop subsidizing, everyone?
Well, can you explain something of what happens when it comes to paying in-state tuition? Because there's something that is not, I would say, publicly known, about this?
Oh, in-state tuition is not a sale on it's and I said it last week. I mean, this isn't like the Florida residence rate at Disney. In-state tuition is the tuition is the same for everyone. In-state tuition is where the government pays part of the amount, no matter who you are. If you have been in the state of Florida and have residency for 2 years and go to college, you can get what's called in-state tuition. The college itself is not giving you a deal. They're not, they don't have a Florida resident sale. The government is coming in, the state of Florida is coming in and paying the difference.
Yeah, so this is taxpayer money directly going for this.
Yes, and everybody, and all people who want to take residency with for 2 years in Florida will get this. Now, it wasn't obviously, you had kids who had come here as small children that were undocumented. They came here illegally as small children. They've gone through the public schools in Florida and gone through high school and everything, but they couldn't get the same in-state tuition as someone who had just moved here 2 years ago, but happened to have been born in the country or come to the country legally.
How do you feel about this one, Greg?
I'm not a big fan of subsidies on any level, really.
That's where I'm at. I don't, I'm definitely for giving it equally to everyone if you're going to give it, but I don't want it given to anyone. I don't, we can see how bad it is when the government picks winners and losers in business. They shouldn't be able to pick winners and losers in education. And if everyone had to pay the same amount, you would start to see more competition. And the reason why that you'd start to see a lowering in the rates because there'd be more competition because people from New York and people from all over the place would say, well, everything is the same rate down in Florida and there's a beach. Mm-hmm. Where you wouldn't have colleges that are filled up with people who came from Florida because they can get the government to subsidize it. So what you'll see is now, students in New York will say, hey, it's great over there in Florida. I'm going to start going to tuition and they have room for me in that school where they didn't have room for me before. And I'd like to go to school at the beach. And now the state of New York is going to lose students. So they're going to say, well, we're going to have to lower our prices to keep our students here. And, you're going to see more competition. Whenever you get the government out of it, competition comes in.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I have a problem with this because for a long time now, it's pretty common knowledge that our primary education system in the United States is almost worthless. But the secondary education, the college level education, people come from all over the world to come here and get educated. The reason that is educated about the economy. So the reason that is because there was a greater level of competition between the colleges. There wasn't as much government involvement as there was on the lower levels of education. K through 12 is absolutely controlled by government. Right. Colleges had a little more freedom. We're getting away from that. There's more and more government involvement in the colleges, less competition, more equalization, so to speak. So the quality of education is dropping for our colleges as well. It's not bringing it up, it's bringing it down. So this is an argument. Get rid of government involvement in education completely. Get rid of the Department of Education. Get your hands out of college. Leave it to the states. 50 laboratories of innovation. Let us find the best ways to educate our children. Let the states choose their curriculums. Let them focus on what their children are going to learn. You don't have to make people in Oregon have the same curriculum as the people in Florida because it's different places with different requirements. If California wants to have a very technological centric curriculum because they have Silicon Valley, they have a lot of tech jobs, that's fine. If Nebraska wants to have a very agriculture centric curriculum, teaching children, have a more 4-H kind of curriculum, teaching people about agriculture and how to increase yield in farming, things of that nature. They should be able to do that. It's better for their state. Mm-hmm. With all this government control, all this government interference, it's messing up regular education, messing up college. It's just a big mess.
Now, why do you think Will Weatherford wanted to do this, by the way?
Because he wants the Hispanic vote for his party.
Yeah, I mean it's really this is really one of those things that's only being done for just to be able to try to secure a section of the vote, right?
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. It's an election year.
Yeah.
Well, we know these guys, they don't take action based on solving problems or making the world a better place. They make decisions based on money and power and how they're going to keep it.
Yeah. No, and this is one way to do that. I wonder, but here's the thing, though. Their base does not like this, though. Like, their base is against this.
Yeah, but they can't win with just their base anymore because there's a huge Hispanic population, and especially when you have, Rick Scott's campaign has been accused of a lot of racist kind of practices and things like that, and now you can put this in and say, well, look, we're not racist. We love, the Hispanic community because we want to give in-state tuition to undocumented children. Now, the argument that they make is that the children came here illegally by no decision on their own.
Yeah, no fault of their own.
They didn't want to be, they didn't want to break the law. They didn't choose to break the law. I mean, they were, 2 and 3 and 4 years old. They, they weren't going to just say, no, I'm staying here and then be allowed to stay. So, I do, if you're paying for their education K through 12, and you're paying for the students who went to school with them K through 12, you're subsidizing their college educations. I do understand a lot of the Hispanic community saying, well, wait a minute, that you're definitely discriminating against our children. Mm-hmm. Because you didn't mind paying for them up until high school, but now the non-minority child next to them is getting their college paid for and my student isn't. So I do understand the argument. My counter to it is we're having the wrong fight.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
They're fighting to get the money for them as well. It's kind of like the red light camera fight in St. Pete.
Yeah.
You remember we went to the one person who was kind of against the red light cameras was, well, if this is a safety issue, why are you just putting it in the white neighborhoods? Why not the poor neighborhoods? Why isn't their safety a concern? And I was like, wait a minute, I thought you were against them. No, you just want more. You want them in other neighborhoods as well.
Yeah. You're talking about Wingate, right?
Yeah.
I like that guy too.
I do like Wingate, but that argument, I thought he was against him at first, and then I listened to him. I'm like, whoa, wait, no.
Hold on a second. Did you just say?
Yeah, you went down the wrong path here. And that's what I think with this in-state tuition. I said it again. I said it last week. I'm going to say it again this week. Let's get government out of it altogether. I understand the argument that they're giving people money in a discriminatory fashion. I actually tend to agree with that because if you paying for education is paying for education. So if you didn't have a problem with paying for their K through 12 education, then you are discriminating against them when they move on. At the end of the day, we're having the wrong argument. This argument isn't whether we should be paying for these people or those people or those people. Stop paying for people.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know it's a novel concept, but... Well, at any rate, folks, the show, Liberty Underground Show, this is the end of hour number 2. Hour number 3 is coming up, though. There will be some exciting things. We're going to go through a lot of legislature stuff. So if you want to know what's going on in Tallahassee, tune into hour number 3 and you'll be able to find that stuff out. Our website address, 1787network.com. Go there, take a look at it. We got a lot of stories, got a lot of things going on out there. But we'll see you guys next week. You're listening to Liberty Underground. Libertarian Party of Florida is excited to announce the 2014 State Convention. Join libertarians and friends from across the Sunshine State to hear great speakers including 2016 presidential candidate Darrell W. Perry, the chair of the National LP Jeffrey Neal, plus Donald Belanti, George Phillies, Wes Benedict, Tony Stiles, and more. Be sure to reserve your seat early for the banquet Saturday evening with keynote speaker Judge Jim Gray. Jim Gray, the former judge of the California Superior Court and author of Why Our Drug Laws Are Failed, was Gary Johnson's 2012 presidential running mate. Arrive early to mix and mingle with friends at the Friday Night Social. All special events are open to the public, so even if you're not a registered libertarian, you are welcome to attend. The convention dates are approaching fast. Join us in Tampa Bay, May 16th through the 18th. Go to lpf2014.org to get your tickets today.
Hi, this is Gary Johnson, and you're listening to the 1787 Radio Network.
Facts about the red light cameras. Fact, you are guilty until proven innocent. The Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution grants you the presumption of innocence. Fact, red light cameras cause accidents. Accidents are up on an average of 40% at intersection with camera. Fact, cameras punish technical foul violations. Over 80% of tickets are written when the red light is on, under 1/2 second. Join the fight at www.banthecams.org. www.banthecams.org.
If you received a ticket in Florida, contact Oropesa Law Offices, 800-774-9883 or tacklemyticket.com. Attorney Oropesa understands the stress associated with being charged with a traffic ticket. In many non-criminal ticket cases, there may be no court appearance, no points, and no traffic school. Attorney Oropesa handles criminal violations, DUI, and license suspension matters. Don't face these serious legal matters alone. Initial consultation is free. Call now and you will be advised about any potential defense, constitutional rights violations, the possibility of having your driving privileges restored, or preventing a suspension from going into effect. If you've been classified as a habitual traffic offender, have a driver's license suspension matter, or a pending DUI case, call Oropesa Law Offices now so you can be advised about your particular case. Call 1-800-774-9883 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or visit tacklemyticket.com. Main office in Pinellas County and serving all of the Tampa Bay area. Find out more at tacklemyticket.com. Mention Liberty Underground and get 25% off.
Liberty starts with a like. Facebook.com/Liberty Underground.
You know Going Postal offers shipping with UPS, FedEx, and DHL International, and they're a full-service post office. And Going Postal is not just your one-stop shop for shipping. They offer copying, laminating, faxing, packaging, and they even have a notary public service. Visit our friends at Going Postal at the following convenient locations: Palm Harbor at the corner of Tampa Road and County Road 1 in the Sweet Bay Plaza, St. Pete on 66th Street, just south of Tyrone Boulevard near Publix, and be sure to visit their newest location at 35595 US 19 North at Alderman Road next to Publix in Palm Harbor.
When the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance has been recognized as highest in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience 5 years in a row by J.D. Power and Associates. For award information, go to jdpower.com. Call Row Insurance in Newport Richey today at 727-376-0030.
Welcome back, Liberty Underground. If you'd like to call the program in hour number 3, the number is 1-800-525-4032. Refresh Telecom, 1-800-525-4032. They will not give your information to the feds without a warrant. And even then, they'll probably just delete it. So we're back.
We are.
We are back. Woohoo! Woohoo! Woohoo and stuff. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to be talking about the Florida legislation going on.
Yes. There's obviously we're in the middle of session, so there's a lot of Florida legislation that's going on. I really kind of focused on not what was moving or things like that, but what has been passed in either the Senate or the House this week.
All right, good. I'm glad you're taking it from this angle. I'm happy with that.
I'm glad you approve.
And I love the nicknames of some of the bills, by the way.
No, I love this. But the two bills that were passed this week was the warning shot bill. This is HB 89, which is, where they've kind of dubbed it the warning shot bill.
Why have they dubbed it the warning shot bill?
Well, what was happening, and this is what people, I think didn't really realize, is that in a case of what's called justifiable force, when you have reasonable perception of imminent danger. So imminent danger to yourself or to others that you could use. It would be called justifiable force if you used force to protect yourself. What was happening is if you didn't use force, like if you didn't try to harm someone, but you shot a warning shot at that person, it wasn't falling under the justifiable force law, and they were actually putting you in the 10-20 life law.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. Which is what they've done this, though.
They've done this.
It was done to a woman here in the state of Florida.
Yeah, Marissa Alexander. Now, and I've looked through kind of some of the circumstances in her case. She would still be charged with a crime. So, let me...
Oh, even with this, she still would have been charged.
Even with this, she still would have been charged in a crime. She probably would have been charged with the endangerment of children.
Oh, okay.
Because the warning shot that she did shoot, she knew that the children were in the building at the time. She also knew that they were just behind the wall that she shot the warning shot into, and it did go through the wall and almost hit the children. So she would still have been charged with a crime. It would have been the endangerment of children, a much lesser charge than what she was actually charged with. She probably would have had a little better defense had this been in the law, but she was still going to serve jail time.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and one thing I wanted to bring up here is that, look, I know the woman was fearing for her life, and I do feel bad for that part, but you shot the gun near where your kids are.
Yeah, and this is what,
like, that's a little weird, isn't it?
The media likes to, and people like to kind of pick and choose the points of someone's case that they like or dislike, and then that becomes the story. And we saw this in the George Zimmerman case where everybody was talking about stand your ground, even though he did not get any stand your ground immunity. So this was not a stand your ground case. This was still a justifiable force case. They kind of didn't look at all the facts. We're also not looking at, the media isn't looking at all of the facts in the Marissa Alexander case. Marissa Alexander left the scene of the imminent danger, went and got a weapon and came back to the scene where she felt she was in danger. So she retreated to a safe place, didn't call the police, didn't stay in the safe place, didn't arm herself so that in case that person came to where she was, she'd be safe. She went to him and then shot a warning shot.
Yeah, that's probably bad.
So her case isn't as cut and dry as what people want to think that it is, because she did retreat to a safe place and then went back to the place of imminent danger.
I think it is as cut and dry as people like to think it is, but in the opposite direction that they
right.
report. Because if you leave the area of danger and go get a gun and come back, you have lost all self-defense, justifiable force.
You become the aggressor.
Exactly.
Yeah, you've become the aggressor at that point. So, now she probably would have had some consideration because of battered wife syndrome, because this was a situation of long-term abuse from this person to her. So she would have had some more justifiable defense, kind of arguments there. But in the end, this is not a case where it was clearly she was in imminent danger, shot a warning shot, and was arrested. That's not what happened here. Mm-hmm. But many other people have been put in jail and have been put in jail for a decade, sometimes 20 years, because of a warning shot in a situation where they would have been able to use justifiable force.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So even though I don't think it would have pertained to her case in particular, I think this is a good bill. This does go into the justifiable force bill statute 776, which is what is there are some of the provisions that you see in stand your ground. Stand your ground is not actually found anywhere in the law. There is no mentioning of the actual term stand your ground. That was a nickname for legislation that amended justifiable force.
I got you. It was another funny nickname.
Right. It was another funny nickname. Just like you're not going to see, the warning shot amendment in anything that's in the law. But this is also HB 89, which has been nicknamed the warning shot bill, is going to be added to the justifiable force statute, which is 776.
There you go.
And this passed the House. It actually passed the House pretty well. So that is going to be, it looks like it's going to be heard in the Senate this week. And it really should not be hard to pass the Senate either. There's, broad support for this bill in the Senate. It's not going to pass as well, but it is going to pass.
Did the NRA come out against it or for it?
The NRA did come out for it, actually.
Imagine that.
Little
surprising. Wow, a little surprising.
There is also...
Do they want you to pay $25 to them for something?
Probably.
In order to do it?
Probably. There's also HB 7029, which has been nicknamed the Pop-Tart bill.
I like the Pop-Tart bill. Well, I like Pop-Tarts, but...
Well, you do like Pop-Tarts. This is not exactly the same, you get to go buy Pop-Tarts. They're not giving away Pop-Tarts.
Oh, they're not?
They're not.
What kind of government is this?
Yeah.
That's crap.
Yeah, they're not giving away Pop-Tarts. But
Racist.
and why we need a bill that says that if you eat your food into the shape of a weapon, you cannot be charged with a crime is just beyond me. Like, why this was even... And I know why it was necessary is because a child bit his Pop-Tart into the shape of a gun and then went, look at what I did, and, was expelled from school. But... we shouldn't, we have to take a look at us and start re-examining ourselves as a society when we feel the need for legislation that says if you eat your food in the shape of a weapon, you can't be charged with a crime.
I would have to agree with that. I would have to say that if you do eat things and put them into the shape of a firearm, that you should not be charged.
Yeah. And that should be kind of like a common sense, you actually meant no danger with that chicken nugget.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second here. Now you talked about common sense. Okay, we got to go against this. There's no sense in doing things that make sense.
Quite frankly, if we have an alien invasion over the weekend and we are all wiped out by, a foreign race, this is why. You dumbasses actually needed this law. You passed you wrote the law, you passed the law, voted on it, signed it. You guys are too dumb to participate in this universe.
You are too dumb to participate in this universe.
You guys are a waste of oxygen. We're coming and taking it.
He's going to go Spaceballs on us. That's what it is.
Yeah,
going Spaceballs.
And this is the language. Oh my gosh. When we have to have a provision in the law, and this is the exact wording, brandishing a partially consumed pastry or other food item to simulate a firearm or weapon. We've failed as a society when that has to become a law.
I love that there's a law that has the word pastry in it. That's awesome. Pastries and guns.
We should all die. Humanity does not deserve to exist anymore.
I do have to agree. We have failed as a society when we need a provision in our law that says brandishing a partially consumed pastry or other food item to simulate a weapon or firearm.
I hate you people. All of you. Anyone who thought there was a need for this law at all. The people who prosecuted a child who did it in the first place, the people who felt the need that we needed to create a counter law to prevent that from happening. Every one of you is a dumbass. Every one of you is the reason why we are as bad off as we are. Kill yourselves, please. Save the world. Kill yourself.
Kill yourself right now.
This is, and of course, and now luckily, we know Mikey and Ethan are safe because it is also written into the law that you cannot be prosecuted for possessing a toy firearm or weapon made of plastic snapped-together building blocks.
Oh, so the Lego gun.
The Lego gun.
The Lego gun is safe. So, and your son is a big Lego fan as well.
Yes.
So all of our sons...
I have actually built weapons out of Legos in the past.
So we are now...
Greg's a big fan too, obviously.
We're now safe from prosecution. Oh, using a finger or hand to simulate a firearm or weapon? Now safe from prosecution.
Pew, pew. You know what? Let's celebrate.
Drawing a picture or possessing an image of a firearm or weapon. safe from prosecution.
Okay, so my Yosemite Sam back off mud flaps are no longer illegal.
They're no longer a threat.
Yosemite Sam is not bearing an illegal weapon on the back of the truck now.
I wonder if Andy Warhol actually knew this because we went to the Dolly Museum where the Andy Warhol museum exhibit was there, and he actually had a pencil drawing of an actual handgun.
Alex just drew a gun.
Legal. Hold on, let me write that on top. Now it's legal.
Wait a minute, this hasn't been signed by the governor yet.
Ah, damn it!
Well, what about cases like, you remember the old G.I. Joe cartoon, how everybody had a gun, but nobody could hit a damn thing? I mean, is that illegal? Is it illegal to be a poor shot with your cartoon gun?
Yeah, how are those people like the special forces when they couldn't kill anybody?
I know, this is supposed to be the most badass strike team on the planet.
Yeah.
And nobody could kill anyone.
Never.
Yeah.
And they had unlimited ammo, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helicopters blowing up and then 2 parachutes popping out of it. It's like,
Yeah. Nobody ever died.
Now, you'll also, sleep a little better knowing that using a pencil, pen, or other writing or drawing utensil to simulate a firearm or weapon is also exempt from prosecution.
This is a real bill. This is a real bill, by the way.
I wish I was joking. I really do wish that this was a joke.
I love the Pop-Tart bill. I want more Pop-Tart bills. Actually, you know what? I would like a calzone bill.
Do you consistently eat your calzone in the shape of a weapon?
Yes, I do. And I'd like a calzone bill if you don't mind.
I want the calzone. I don't want the bill.
I want both. I want the calzone.
Okay, I'll take the calzone. Give Alex my bill.
No. We'll share the calzone, and I'll get the bill.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. There's a provision in here, and I must have skipped it. Sorry. Possessing a toy firearm or weapon that is 2 inches or less in overall length is actually exempt from prosecution. What if it's over 2 inches?
So, like, the toy Derringer is okay, but the toy Winchester rifle is
You're in trouble.
illegal.
Yeah,
Wow.
you're in trouble. You better throw those things away, Greg.
No way.
I mean,
Rebel. All right, what else is out there?
I'm still in shock.
I've tired myself from Pop-Tarts.
So, well, both of those were passed through the House pretty much unanimously. The warning shot bill was not unanimous. There was some nays. It wasn't many.
Wait a minute. Hold on. We have no resistance to passing a law about the shape of Pop-Tarts, but we can't get them to move on medical marijuana to save anyone's life.
True.
Pretty much, yeah. That's a good way of saying it.
That's a good way of saying it.
Man, fuck all you guys. All you guys.
Look, man,
sorry.
you can handle your Pop-Tarts, but you can't handle your weed. All right?
Exactly.
Let's just call it what it is.
And now if that weed were to lead to pastries, now you're, for a while there, you were really in trouble.
I don't handle Pop-Tarts until after I've handled weed.
I personally think that if you put your weed in the shape of a gun, that you're going to be, that's the loophole.
What you do is you make a weed brownie, bite it in the shape of a gun, and then you're good.
What if I roll a joint in the shape of a gun?
You may be okay.
You're very talented, and it would. Two things at play there. One, you're very talented. Two, yeah, you're cool. Even though smoking that thing is going to be really, really.
You can't actually light it.
That's going to be very
possess it.
Well, if you're going to possess it, then why in the heck would you want to not light it? That's what I'm saying. That's just crazy talk.
That's my mission for the weekend now, is to find a way to roll a gun-shaped joint.
That would be how the legal system worked, though. Think about it. You can roll it. You can possess it. You just can't light it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's how government works.
There we go.
Also this week, the Florida House of Representatives passed unanimously the reduction of your motor vehicle license tax. So, yay. Everyone will see a reduction of exactly $18.55 for lightweight vehicles, $21.55 for middleweight vehicles, and $25.05 for heavyweight vehicles. So you don't even get to 20. Like they were saying, everybody gets $25 off. No. Only people with very large trucks get $25 off.
Yeah.
Not only that, they're the ones that increased it when they passed the rule a couple years ago. It's amazing. Again, government's the only thing that will break both of your legs, hand you the crutches, and make you say thank you because they gave you the crutch.
Yeah, thanks for helping.
Yeah.
Where's my notepad with the public policy polling phone number?
Oh, yeah, we didn't even get to
I
that
don't know.
yet.
I have this one with a gun.
That's not the one.
That's not the one.
That's not what we're offering him.
Oh, I don't know.
Yet.
know.
Depends on how many times they
Lift
exclude
that thing
Adrian
up
White.
back there. Maybe it's back there.
There.
There's the monkey. You can leave that thing up if you want to.
So,
When I see you across from me, Greg, I always like to have a little bit of greenery when it's back there. So.
you look
I
like a
usually
picture.
do have a little bit of greenery.
So most people are going to get the $18.55 reduction out of the doubling that it did 5 years ago.
And how much did they raise it by?
They raised each one by about $75.
Yeah, so but we're gonna give you $20 back.
Not even $18.55. They can't even give you $20 back.
Oh God, these guys. And they're so proud of themselves, like, oh, we've done such a great job.
Wait.
We're saving you so much money.
This is the title of the press release. House passes substantial tax relief for Floridians.
Yeah. Here's
Substantial.
Substantial tax relief. Like, Greg, are you feeling relieved?
No, I'm not.
The bathroom's
Not
back
at
there
all.
if you want to go.
I need another cup of coffee.
You can buy 3 packs of cigarettes now.
A year.
A year.
I'm guessing the tax on that will increase shortly. They're not going to lose any money here, trust me.
So what is that, like 5 gallons of gas?
Well, that's about to go up too.
Which is about to
Yeah,
go up.
those taxes are going to increase.
Yeah, of course they are.
So, thank your representative. You are now going to save $18.55 a year. Yay.
And every dollar in your pocket is going to lose more value than that over the course of the year. So you're not saving a damn thing, actually.
Yeah.
Just in case you might have been under the impression you were going to save money. No, you're still losing.
This is the same thing as what they do with the budget, where they propose like a $4 billion increase, cut $300 million, and say that they've made the hard cuts.
Yeah.
This is the same thing. We're going to raise the vehicle tax by $75 a year and then giving you $18.55 back as substantial tax relief.
Yeah. and you wonder why we get so angry with the people in Tallahassee.
But wait, there's additional tax cuts.
Oh, do tell.
There was another bill that also passed. Well, it has not passed the actual House yet. This has only passed the House Finance and Tax Subcommittee today, but this is pretty much slated to pass. This is going to have really not any problem passing. This is you're going to get 4 tax-free holidays. Holiday days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the tax-free holiday for back to school is going to be 4 days this year, which is actually a lot shorter than what you used to have. But
Yeah, wasn't it a week before?
Yeah, you get 3 days in August for close. Only 3 days in August. 3 days in September.
Looks like 12 days in June.
12 days in June for hurricane preparedness supplies, which is, your generators and stuff like that. 7 days in September for physical fitness facility memberships.
Wait.
What?
You get 7 days in December for joining a gym. In September for joining a gym.
Yeah, but you only get 3 days to buy clothes for your kids.
Why don't they do that in December? At the end of December, when everybody's making New Year's resolutions, then you get the tax-free weekend on the gym membership that you're going to use once this year.
Well, that would make sense, Craig.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. We're talking about government.
I don't know what
This
your
is the
problem
same people that just put that you can eat a pastry into the shape of a weapon and not be prosecuted.
I'm sorry. I'm applying logic and common sense to what government does. Forgive me, please. I know not what I do.
There's a permanent sales tax exemption for child restraint systems and booster seats in motor vehicles, and also for bicycle helmets marketed to youth. So if you're an adult and you buy a bicycle helmet, no, you're getting taxed.
Yeah,
they
we're
want
taxed.
your money.
Well, yeah, because they don't mind if you have a massive head injury.
Right. But if you're buying it for a child, although how do they, what if you're like 12? They use the adult sizes. Screw it. 12-year-olds,
Just
bash your head in.
Just buy the Pop-Tart in the shape of a gun and go in there and get it yourself.
There's also and this is good. This is probably the biggest tax break that you're going to have is an increase in the exemption for corporate income tax. This will be the first 50,000 of income. You used to have an exemption for the first 50,000 of income. That's going to move up to 75,000 in income.
It's a hell of a lot more than $18.
Right. Which is a lot more than $18.
Yeah, who's getting the real relief here?
There is a creation of the, of course, because we always love when more government is created, the creation of the Qualified Television Loan Fund with the Department of Economic Opportunity. This is going to be $20 million going to them from the General Revenue Fund to encourage the production of television programs in Florida by assisting television production companies to acquire financing. Because they needed more help.
What?
Well, I know what that's about. They're trying to turn Florida and the Bay Area particularly into the Hollywood of the East Coast. Right. So they're trying to draw that money
here. They're incentivizing big,
yeah.
you know.
We don't have a state income tax. You know, haven't we done enough?
So this is an addition of cement mixing drums to an existing temporary sales tax exemption for manufacturing machinery and equipment, which will expire in 2017. The expansion from $178 million to $227 million of the credits available under the new market tax credit program, which directs investments into low-income communities. 1 year, $14 million.
Hold on a second. That one should be nicknamed the liquor store.
Yeah,
the liquor store.
That is the liquor store incentive plan. A 1 year, $14 million extension of the sunset date of the Community Contributions Tax Credit Program.
Amazing.
So basically, if you own a large business, you have won the lottery this year.
Oh, yeah.
What if you're a liquor store?
Or if you're a
large business liquor store, you've really done
You've really won the lottery this year.
Unfortunately, all the people that are going to buy more liquor from your store because they're so stressed out off of all the taxes that they have to pay and the lack of relief that they've gotten. But at least your Jack and Coke's going to fly off the shelves.
Yeah. But, we saved $18.
Yeah,
Hooray!
And they can buy 3 drinks.
It's a substantial tax relief. Oh my gosh!
Fuck these guys.
Seriously. All right, what's next?
This is for everyone who says that the Republicans are trying to fight Obamacare.
Yep.
We need more Republicans because they're fighting Obamacare, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Certificate of Need bill, HB 287, passed in the House this week. This would decrease the subdistrict of average nursing home bed occupancy rates, which is a requirement in the ACA.
Oh.
So they're complying with the requirements of ACA, making it to where there can be less beds in nursing homes and things like that. And that was, just a guess, how many Republicans do you think voted against this?
None of them.
Oh, none of them.
Against it? None of them.
You would be correct. This passed unanimously.
Amazing.
Yeah, because that Republican-controlled state house in Florida is doing such a bang-up job of fighting against Obamacare.
Yeah, they're complying with it pretty much all the way around. So that bill passed this week, so everyone can breathe a little easier that we're complying with the Affordable Care Act.
I think they're trying to set a good example for us that, hey, government says so, sit down, shut up, and do as you're told.
Yeah.
I think you got a good point there, Greg.
Now this actually makes it to where it only lowers it by a little bit, but basically that when you have a nursing home, they can have fewer beds, which means that the price is going to go up.
That's true.
And this is one of those things that it doesn't become affordable because it was already very unaffordable. Anyone who has ever had to put a loved one in a nursing home knows that, it runs into the thousands every month. I mean, you're looking at, for a, not high tech facility, you're still looking at about $4,000 every month.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of money. Might as well just bring them in the back.
This is another one of those cases where I can understand why they did this, because there is a problem. It's not the solution.
Right.
The problem is that nursing homes have too many beds, too many people to take care of, and people fall through the cracks and don't get the level of care that they need.
And that is a problem.
You know how you solve that? Pay attention to the loved one that you put in a nursing home. Go visit them. Make sure they're being taken care of. Ask them questions. Look them over. make sure they're being tended to. Because basically what you're doing is asking the government to do for you what you want them to do for everything else. You don't really give a damn about this problem. You don't give a damn about these people, but you want to feign interest and make it look like you do. So you're going to ask government to do what you don't want to do. You're not interested in doing it yourself because you really don't give a damn. But you're going to make government do it to make it look like you care.
Go ahead.
I don't like nursing homes in and of themselves anyway. Not because of the old people, by the way, but because I do look at these people and I'm like, well, where are your kids at? Like, why are your kids taking care of you?
Yeah.
You know, take care of your house. Now, not everybody can fit that scenario, though. There are requirement that some people just can't handle. You know, maybe there's some special needs that go there, or maybe it's because of just
they didn't have children.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, they didn't have children. That's another good one.
You know,
because you just can't pick up somebody else's kids and have them take care of you.
Right. I mean, and listen, there is
it's bad enough being an old person as it is.
There is a need for nursing homes, and there are, you know, families who are very well intentioned and would like to take care of their loved one, but because of, you know, medical needs and things like that, it is better for them to be in a facility with trained professionals than it is to be in their house. That's actually a very small amount of the population that's actually in a nursing home are there because of medical needs. Most of it is because families were too busy to take care of them. And that's kind of one of these sad, you know, things that do happen. I know, you know, in my family, we actually took care of both of my grandparents that when they got sick. You know, my aunt actually took off of work for a few years, and she owned her own business and she could, and that was phenomenal. We all came in and helped. When she had to go somewhere, one of us came in and watched them. You know, at the very, very end, both of them had to go into a facility, but it was literally for, you know, 30 days, 6 weeks, because they had gotten so bad to where they had medical needs that we couldn't care for anymore. Right. But in looking at that, it was $4,000, $4,600 a month that had to be paid. And now we were there every day. One of us was there every single day, and both of my grandparents got absolutely amazing care because of it. Mm-hmm. But you do see, and I did see it there, where nurses are overworked. They have way too many beds for the staff that they have in there, and I do feel for that. But this doesn't solve the problem. Mm-hmm. Because what this does is create a scenario where now they're going to have less beds, which is, you would think on the surface, great for these people. But that means that they're also bringing in less money. So that means they're going to have to get rid of staff.
Yeah, it's going to equalize back to where it was. They're going to have the same ratio of staff to beds ultimately in the end.
They're just going to have more people unemployed. Mm-hmm. Or they have to raise the rates to where now more families can't afford it and will have to go on government assistance so that more people have this paid for through government instead of through families. Mm-hmm.
The real solution here is that people need to take care of their parents, though.
Absolutely.
That's the real solution here. You know, and again, it's this is one of the problems with the welfare state. By the way, this is one of the biggest problems that we have with the welfare state is the fact that you have shirked your responsibility to a government agency that basically just puts a bunch of old people in one home and waits for them to die.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, they'll play a little checkerboard during that.
And quite frankly, that is, in my opinion, one of the biggest hurdles for selling libertarianism, the personal responsibility. Well, it's real easy to get people to agree that government sucks. It's real easy to point out the problems in government and where they fail us and where they're wasteful and all of that. The problem is getting the people to then go, oh, wait, that means I got to take care of this myself?
Yeah.
I have to be responsible. I have to stop being a spectator in my own life and start participating?
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me. No, let's let the government do this.
Well, you know what's funny is I know my grandfather has Alzheimer's, and he's very ill. Mm-hmm. And he also has to have blood transfusions like twice a week.
It's not it's dialysis.
Isn't that what they do in dialysis?
No. It's they actually take your blood, they clean it, and they put it back.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, at any rate,
it's doing the liver's job that the liver's not doing.
Oh,
basically, is what it is.
Right. And kidneys.
And kidneys. Yeah.
You guys don't know. I will bite a weapon into the shape of a pipe.
Did you draw one out? No,
and shoot you with the sprinkles.
I will shoot you with the sprinkles.
That is actually what I can't believe you said that. That is one of the things that my grandmother did have. We had in-home dialysis until the point where we couldn't do it in home anymore.
Yeah, and they've been taking care of him for a long time. For a couple of years now, they've been taking care of him. And he, consistently gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And they're going to have to get to the point where they're not going to be able to do this anymore.
Right.
But that's how you do it, though. That's the right way to do it. The wrong way is you just ship them off somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, we'll see you later. When you die.
Well, and we've become a society that's dependent on that. I don't want to have to deal with this, and there's a facility and a government that'll pay for it, so let me just ship them off. Now, let me tell you what, if children had to pay out of pocket for their parents going into a nursing home, you would see a lot less parents in nursing homes, by the way. Because when all of a sudden you have to come up with the $4,000 every month to pay for them, that's going to make you decide real quick to start taking care of your family.
Real quick.
Yeah. So we've made a society that's dependent on, we always say that there's this breakdown of the family. Well, who caused it?
You did.
It was government.
You did.
Me personally.
You set all the rules up.
Yeah. But like when you have where you can become dependent on government, where you can become dependent on, you don't have to work, you can be dependent on government, where you don't have to take care of your family anymore because government will come in and do it. I mean, you used to have, if you were, you even as adults, families took care of each other. When someone lost their home, everyone banded together and said, well, you come live with me, or you'll go over there for a while, we're going to get you on your feet. We're going to help you. Where now they say, well, go ask government. We've created this disconnect in all of our families, not all of our families, but in families across the country, because we've made it to where we don't have to rely on each other. And that's why we see a breakdown in communities as well. I don't have to rely on my neighbor anymore. Where you used to have to, not have to, but it was mutually beneficial when you knew everyone in your neighborhood. Now we've scared everyone, scared the bejesus out of everyone, that every neighbor is out to freaking get you.
Just for the record, I love the word bejesus.
I know you do. I've been saying it a lot lately, and you do like it.
I love that. Scare the bejesus out of you.
But, we've gotten to a point where we've broken down the communities where we're not dependent. Nobody is dependent on their fellow man anymore. We've all we've made this turn to, well, let's be dependent on government. And that's where we see, don't talk to me about the moral decay when you're still talking about growing government to make sure that families aren't connected to each other anymore.
Exactly. And there are people who make the argument that government is intentionally destroying families. And these are the kind of examples that are easy to use to prove that. I don't necessarily think it's intentional. It's definitely happening, whether intentional or unintentional. I don't think that they're like, we're going to destroy the family. I think it's a natural consequence of replacing so much of our family responsibilities with government responsibilities that the family doesn't have the meaning that it once had.
When you're required to make sure that your children are educated so that they're successful in life, and if they're not successful in life, you're the ones that are going to have to take care of them, you're incentivized to make sure they get the best education. And because everybody wants to love their children forever, but nobody wants to pay for them forever. But when you stop that, where and people say, well, all these parents don't care about the education of their children, and that's true, but why? Because when their children get older, they can just say, well, go get out anyways. And their children can get on government assistance, get government food, get a government house to live in, and everything else. So there's no incentive there. Humans in general are very resourceful. We have a strong will to survive.
Strong.
So because of that very strong will to survive,
very strong.
If you get to the point where you're starting to make people have to survive, they will do it, and they'll thrive, and they'll be more successful, and you'll see more innovation and more good things happening, because we're as human beings, we're built that way. We'll adapt to the circumstances, and we'll do whatever needs to be done to survive. We have very strong survival, needs. Nobody says, well, I'll just let myself die. Very few.
Well, I used to believe that until that one survey came out, though.
Those are people who don't know how to rely on themselves.
But that was like 90% of the people, though.
But if you throw them in the situation, they'll survive.
They're dead in a day.
24 hours.
24 hours, they'll be dead.
Yep.
And anyone who doesn't know what he's talking about,
don't tell them.
No, there was a survey
Don't tell 'em.
last year
Yeah.
that they surveyed people and said if the power were to go out, how long do you think that you would survive? And 20% of the people who answered the survey thought that they would be dead in 24 hours.
Yeah.
So Lord help those people in a hurricane.
But what about the electricity? We can't live without electricity.
Like your food would still be good in your fridge for 24 hours.
Yeah. It'd still be cold in there.
It would still be cold.
I have a battery backup on my computer. I would be on my computer the entire time.
Well, you wouldn't be able to get online, though.
You're right.
Yeah.
And computers are useless without internet now.
I mean, you may be able to play like solitaire, like one of those games that are loaded
Minesweeper.
on.
You can play Minesweeper.
I can play The Sims.
Oh, you can do The Sims.
Sims and Sim City. Yeah.
Sin City or Sim City?
Well, either.
Okay.
Depends on my mood.
I got you.
So that's it. Now,
What else is out there?
The last bill that I kind of pulled for this week to talk about is the, everyone. Well, anyways, this is a sentencing for controlled substance violation. So basically,
is the taint against this?
I have no idea.
Oh.
But this is the trafficking of hydrocodone. If you get caught with, and this is, I actually don't mind, I don't like controlled substances. I think everybody has the right to put into their body whatever they want. But I definitely see this as something that is being abused at the time. And, we do need to do something about the abuse that's going on. I don't necessarily think putting people in jail is the right way to go. And this is exactly what this does. And not only does it put you in jail, but if it's 14 grams or more, but less than 28, there's a mandatory minimum imprisonment of 15 years.
Damn.
That's ridiculous.
15 years for some pills that are legal.
Yeah. 28 grams or more, and the mandatory minimum is 25 years.
Damn.
I hate mandatory minimums.
I do
by the
too.
way.
They're
one of the worst things that our government has ever done.
This is one of those things where no matter what, I think you have to take every single person's situation and what happened into account. And when you have these mandatory minimums, just like the 10-20 life, where people who shoot a warning shot are in jail for 20 years, where you can't take circumstances into account, that just, it hurts everything. Not every person is a, I want to go kill everybody criminal.
Mm-hmm. And I want to go and kill everybody criminal.
I just mean
that's like a mass murderer, actually. Like, I think you're letting it off light when you say it that way. I mean, it's a serial killer or a mass murderer or something, not just a regular old,
I'm just saying there's circumstances around every crime.
Well, at least it's not. At least you're not going to jail now for eating a Pop-Tart in the shape of a gun. Well, at least we got that done. Yay, liberty!
But 14 grams of pills and you're in jail for 15 years.
Yeah, unless you put them in the shape of a gun.
Well, maybe if you bite them all into the shape of a gun.
Yeah. What you got to do is what they got to do is take one of these squirt guns, right? This is what you do. I got the whole thing figured out right now. What you want to do is you want to take one of the old squirt guns, like a regular pistol squirt gun, all right? Empty out all the stuff in it, make the hole a little bit bigger because you'll need it for the pills. And then what you want to do is you want to put all the pills in there. And then if you walk around with it, you're okay. You're welcome. Brilliant. I don't understand how that's not a great idea, Danielle. You're not checking out, are you?
I'm not checking out. I'm going through more of the bill, but yeah.
Come on, girl. Let's get in this. You know what I'm saying? Let's support me. Are you gonna help me with this legislation and get this through? I'll call it the water gun bill. The squirt gun bill.
Now this bill was passed on the Senate side, and it passed unanimously.
So Wilton Simpson voted for it, huh?
Yes.
And Tribbley.
Yes, in Tribbley.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, that would mean that Brandes voted for it. Everyone.
Everybody voted for it.
All your senators.
I didn't vote for it.
I did not vote for it. I am not one of your senators, nor do I want to be, actually.
I don't know.
And I'm actually of
Maybe
the
for
opinion.
Like a day you'd like to be.
No,
Maybe a week.
I don't.
Maybe a month.
No.
Maybe just during session.
No.
Okay.
I like what I do. I like the reading through it and analyzing it and lobbying. I like that end of it. I will never run for office.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
No, that's pretty solid.
No, that's alleged.
But we have not called Dean Debnam.
Oh, yeah, let's give him a call. It's
I've been
11:44.
distracted, son.
He's been distracted with
We've been
Pop-Tarts.
talking about good stuff.
Pop-Tart guns.
Fun
and
conversations.
Old people in homes. And
Dogs and cats living together.
Mass hysteria.
That's awesome. That's awesome that we were able to do that, by the way. I'm very happy with that. You know, I will tell you that there also is a way that you can create a keyhole garden out of bricks.
You know, I've seen even more of the cement block gardens where now you can do it like up against a wall and just put some of them like kind of pointed outward. It's actually really cool what you can do with the cement block gardens. Now, we do have pallet gardens here. We have a pretty starting to thrive pallet garden.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You think he's gonna pick up the phone?
Doubt it.
Come on, let's take bets on this.
We
Wouldn't
called
be
a little
surprised if we
later
get
today,
blocked.
so maybe.
Maybe. Come on, Dean. Come on, Dean. Pick up the phone, Dino. Come on, Dean. Hop now, hop now. Come on, Dean. Pick up the phone, Dino.
Dean can't come to the phone right now. Please
Dean
leave a
can
message.
never come to the phone.
Denied. Well, Dean, you're live on the air. Well, you're not, but your answer machine is. This is Alex, co-host, Liberty Underground, calling you again. Oh, along with Danielle and Greg. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
We're giving you a call again. I want to make sure that on the front of your mind is that in the next time that you poll for the governor of Florida, that you need to include Adrian Wiley.
And don't do what UNF did and just put someone else.
Yeah, even though you did see that someone else is getting like 17%, though.
Right, so you have no excuse to
Yeah.
not include someone else by
There's
name.
absolutely no excuse for you guys to do this. You guys are well within your...
So there is no well, but he'd only poll at like 4%. Look at that someone else guy.
Yeah, exactly. So, Dean, do the right thing. Be a good guy. Do the right thing. And make sure you put Adrian on that poll because we won't want anything bad to happen to you.
And you know what? Hey, why don't you look up Adrian? Because you probably might want to vote for him too. WileyForGovernor.com.
WileyForGovernor.com.
That's
WileyForGovernor.com.
WileyFor Governor.com.
And again, we don't want to see anything bad happen to you. So we want to make sure that you do the right thing here.
The 1787 Network is not advocating for any use of force against Dean Debnam.
Not at all. I'm just making sure that nothing bad happens to you, man. I'm trying to look out for you. You know, Dean, I like you. Dean, I know you don't pick up the phone every week, man, but I like you. I think you're a good guy, and I think you're going to do the right thing here. So just be a good guy. All right, we'll talk to you next week, sweetheart.
You called him sweetheart.
I love it.
That's funny.
Next week, we're going to do a love poem to him. How I love Dean Debnam. Let me count the ways.
Can the first one be I don't?
No, the last one can be you know. Not the first
The last one could be, this is all bullshit.
Yeah. We can do that. We can do that next week, though. Not this week, though. Next week, okay?
Okay.
By the way, we have a buddy of ours that was in the news, and I know we didn't talk about this yet, but I do want to bring this thing up. Oh, you want to do the karma one first?
If you want, whichever.
Okay. Did you have another one that you wanted to do?
No.
Oh, because you said last before, so I just want to make sure I was on the right
No, it was last because you did my actual last bill in the last hour, taking that other story out.
I got you. All right. Well, there is something called instant karma. And we witnessed it in Tampa on Monday. Well, we didn't witness it, but somebody else witnessed it.
Yeah.
Someone's iPhone witnessed it.
Luckily, they got this on video. So there's a Tampa woman driving down the road, and I think she was on 41. I think was what it was. The woman's on 41, and there's a guy, and she's driving in the left lane.
On 41 in Gibsonton.
Yeah, 41 in Gibsonton. Where I will disagree with her on is one of the things she said is that she's just allowed to drive slow in this lane, and that's
No,
not
she's not. They're both breaking the law, actually.
Yeah. So now she wasn't driving too slow, but she was driving slow enough because she went back. She did turn to look at her gauge on how fast she was going, and she was doing basically the speed limit.
That's not the law in Florida, though.
What, if somebody's going faster, you got to get over?
Yes.
Okay. At any rate, what you don't do is what the guy did, though. This guy has this huge, just like an F-250, I think.
It looks like it.
It's like an F-250.
It looks like a 250, and it's definitely a Ford.
It's a big pick-em-up truck.
Yeah.
And what happens is this guy's tailgating her, right? Then he finally gets around her and he flicks her off. So, and he saw that she was videotaping him on her phone. So he comes back, he gets ahead of her, then goes back and then continues to flick her off. and then goes back forward again and guns it and then tries to cut her off. The problem is, dude didn't understand he was in a truck, started fishtailing, swerves, and crashes.
Right. Yeah.
And she's got the whole thing on video, laughing her ass off.
As she should be.
As she should be.
Listen, she should have gotten over. But at the end of the day, you know, he did get around her. And the fact that he got around her, he should have just left.
Should have kept going. That's what I do.
But he didn't do that. He decided he wanted to just, you know, you've pissed me off, so now I'm just going to mess with you. And he did. And once he did that, when he finally decided, okay, I've done enough and I want to go, he crashed.
Yep. Karma. And he's actually arrested. He's getting arrested. I think he was arrested now.
Yes, he was actually
But he was arrested for leaving the scene of an accident.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was the only one involved in, which I always think is hilarious. You crash your own car into your own stuff, destroy no one else's property but your own, and you don't report it to the police, and you can still be arrested for leaving the scene of an accident.
But that did not happen in this case because he did wreck other people's stuff, though.
Right. That's not this case, but that can happen.
That can happen.
You can totally be arrested for breaking your own stuff.
You can literally run your car into a tree on your own property, but then go, oh crap, I'm still late for work. I have to go to work. And now you are leaving the scene of an accident.
Yep.
All right. The instant karma.
But your Pop-Tarts are protected, yo.
Yeah, don't worry about that. You know, a good friend of the
As your
program.
Legos.
A good friend of the program. A good friend of us, Nathan Cox, is actually in the news as well.
Oh, I like Nate.
Okay. So he lives in Richmond, Virginia. A Virginia state trooper filed a defamation lawsuit against Nathan Cox after he posted about a traffic stop online. Nathan Cox claims trooper Melanie McKinney violated his rights during the heated encounter over Memorial Day weekend 2012. Wow, this is a long time.
Yeah.
Cox, an Army veteran, says the trooper wouldn't let him properly record the stop with his cell phone. He posted about the stop online on the Virginia Cop Block website. The cell phone and police dash camera video went viral. Now Trooper McKinney has filed a suit against Nathan Cox for defamation. During the incident, Cox says Trooper McKinney approached his car and immediately asked him to step out. I'm asking you to step out because if you have something in there, McKinney can be heard saying to Cox in the video. No, ma'am, you're not taking my phone, replied Cox. Cox says was trying to record the stop on his cell phone, which is legal if it doesn't interfere with an officer's work. It brings a level of accountability and transparency because cameras don't lie, explained Cox. In the video, Trooper McKinney tells Cox she wasn't sure what he had in the car after she says he's made suspicious movements. You were up there making fervent movements in the vehicle, says Trooper McKinney to Cox, while the pair was outside the car. Trooper McKinney and Cox continued to argue over where Cox can display his phone during the incident. The officer insisted to keep it placed on the car. Ultimately, Cox received a minor ticket. He posted the video and extensive commentary on the website. I do feel like she did violate rights, and I discussed that in the article that I published, asserted Cox. Legal analyst Steve Benjamin explains the complexity of the defamation lawsuit. Because I'm trying to figure this one out, by the way. Because all Cox does is post that stuff and says this is what they did. I don't understand how
and
this
it's
can be
from his
defamation.
perspective. Now, what she can say in a defamation, in defamation, you have to say that the person lied, and in their lie, that it harmed your character, and in a professional manner, like in some way, this harmed you to where you can't do business somewhere, or
you have to have evidence of some type of loss.
There has to be some kind of loss. There has to be damages, but she has to prove that he lied. So if this is from his perspective, and he says this is, how I feel like things went down, and now he does have some video to kind of back up a lot of what he's saying, and the only thing he could actually be, what she could say he's lying about, is his own opinion.
Yeah.
That I felt she was being hostile and things like that.
Yeah. Now this is also from Benjamin. There are two competing interests here, said Benjamin. One is our right to be protected against false statements and that truly injure us. But on the other hand, this is a free country. One thing we value above all else is the right to speak freely, even though sometimes that speech can be very, very hurtful. Very, very hurtful? Are you kidding me? The cop pulled it. Okay. An important point about defamation lawsuits is that the truth is an absolute defense. If a judge finds that Cox's accusations are justified, Trooper McKinney could lose the case. State police say Trooper McKinney is declining comment. Oh, you're going to sue him, but you're going to decline comment, huh?
But wait a minute. In cases all the time, your lawyer tells you not to say anything about the case. That's very common because you could say something that harms your case and really inadvertently, not even meaning to and not even meaning it in the context that the media takes it. So that's very, very common. If you're involved in a case, you should not speak about the case at all.
Yeah. NBC 12 spoke to the executive director of the Virginia Association of Chiefs of Police, Dana Scrad. The irony for officers is that they see themselves as public servants and there to help and protect and serve the public. And yet they often get treated with a lot of derision. So that can be stressful. That can be demoralizing. Well, hey, look, if it's that demoralizing, then why don't you quit? All right? Why don't you quit? Matter of fact, why don't you close up the whole damn shop for the Virginia Association of Chief of Police, Dana? Because you know what? Here's the thing. You guys are the ones that are pulling this. Look, Nathan Cox didn't pull her over. It's the other way around. And what did she pull him over for? For nothing, for a little minor ticket. That's what she pulled him over for. So you know what? If you're going to catch a little crap or ask to be videotaped because of that, and that's going to be enough to drive you up a wall or to drive you that's going to be stressful, then you shouldn't have the job. That's the problem. The problem is you people think we're servants and that we shouldn't be able to speak up. And if we do, we should be sued for it. I got news for you, lady. News for you, Dana, an officer, whatever your Trooper McKinney is. You people shouldn't have jobs. You shouldn't be allowed to continue to collect money from the taxpayers of this country for your horrible, disgusting behavior. That's the problem. All Nathan Cox wanted to do was to videotape an encounter to make sure you didn't do something to violate the law. Because you know something? There's a pretty good track record of you guys doing that. So good job, Nathan. Damn it.
I think Nathan's going to win. I mean, I've seen the video. I've seen what he said about what happened, and I don't see any discrepancy in what he said. I think that there are some, he gives a lot of his opinion in his description of that. I think that she didn't like his opinion, and they're trying to say that that's where he lied, but you can't lie about your own opinion. You feel the way you feel, and nobody can say that you don't feel that way. So I don't think the case is going to go anywhere. But I love what Nathan does. So, I encourage everyone to do the same thing. I mean, as soon as we see a police officer pull up and stuff, we definitely get our cameras ready. Although, we've never, and I have to say this, I've never had a bad experience with a police officer.
Lucky.
So, I mean, as far as if I did, I would know how to assert my rights. I would videotape. I would definitely do all those things. I have not been put in that situation, but Nathan has, and I'm glad that he's done what he's done.
Yeah, good on you. Good on you, Nate.
And I like Nate.
He's a good guy. He's a very nice guy. The other thing, too, is he's not he's not like me. He's not like a big meanie.
No, he's not. He's actually very, very, I wouldn't say mild-mannered, but because he's very assertive about his rights, but he's definitely not one to start trouble either.
Yeah? No. I would agree that he is not one that would start trouble. I thought you were going to have more to say to that.
See, I haven't met him personally, so I couldn't.
You never met him? He was at Paul Fest.
I wasn't at Paul Fest.
No.
I know who he is, and I agree with you. I've just never met him personally, so I can't speak on it. I was waiting for Alex to, and he
just didn't say anything.
Yep.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, but no, he's very, like I said, I wouldn't call him mild-mannered, but he's definitely very, he carries himself well, and he's not looking for any trouble. But he won't even be mean and a jerk about asserting his rights. He'll just politely assert his rights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad he does it. I'm glad he's out there working it, man. He ran for office a bunch of years back too. He ran for office in 2010.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll run for office again.
I don't think so either.
Probably not.
He no longer believes in it.
Well, and I think a lot of people.
More power to him.
No, I think that there's a lot of people who, once they've done it, said, find a calling behind the scenes, not running for office, but find, what your passion is and what you can do to advance liberty. And he's found what he does, which is, the cop watch and things like that. And that's a very needed thing where people know their rights and know what they can and can't be told by a police officer. So I think he's doing a very good service to the people. And, running for office wasn't his thing, but this was.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. All right, guys. Well, that's the show for the day. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed the roller coaster that is known as the Liberty Underground Show. If you would like to see the website, it is 1787network.com. Make sure that you like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and send us $20. In that order.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. You're listening to Liberty Underground.
Don't be mistaken. I've been